Franklin and Westmore on 103.7 The Buzz.
All right, here we go. What's up, everybody? Westmore, Joe Franklin. It is Out of Bounds, ready to roll on this Tuesday. Hope you're having a good day. Joe, you good?
I'm great. Yeah, it feels good outside. It's a good day. Getting the week going. We got through Monday. We're getting there.
Yeah, Monday was tough. Long weekend. Now ready to roll, get this week started.
Yeah, it wasn't tough from a standpoint of, Mondays are always, you get back in the flow of everything, but it was fast moving actually, though, and a lot going on.
Show rolled by yesterday, that's for sure. Yeah, that Sunday fun day made yesterday last night a little rough. Here's what we got today. The plan is Tommy Gillerin at 1:30, head coach of the Lake Hamilton Wolves. They had a huge upset a couple weeks. I say huge. It was a big upset. Good upset against Shiloh Christian. I didn't see that coming. That gets them a nice spot in the playoffs. They're hosting Jonesboro this week. That's a really good first-round matchup in 6A, so I wanted to get Coach Gillerin on here and talk a little Lake Hamilton football. At 2 o'clock, Coach Z, after the Razor Hog update, brought to you by Bradford Marine and ATV. Got Arkansas Baylor to discuss, and then look ahead to Troy tomorrow night. And then at 3:30, Jeff Purinton, the athletic director of the Arkansas State Red Wolves, will be on here. We want to talk about tonight. You got Little Rock at A-State, big in-state game up in Jonesboro. Josh Berry and Fox 16's on his way up to Jonesboro tonight, and he'll be live at 5:30 and 6:30 covering the game for us tonight. I think it's a fun game. Little Rock's picked to win their conference. A-State's picked to win their conference. Two good teams, and we've already seen it with A-State. We didn't mention it yesterday, but they went to Alabama Friday night and gave Alabama everything they could handle and some.
Well, they're familiar, and that's the thing about when you have a coach that came from a certain place. So A-State is familiar with Alabama and the way they play. Now, what makes it interesting with A-State and Little Rock is they were conference rivals for a long time, and it's good to see that game continue on where they keep playing against one another because they're in-state, and it makes a lot of sense.
Can't wait to see that, the highlights of that tonight. Thank you, sir.
Matter of fact,
stole my phone.
They were showing on, I believe it was ESPN, they were showing some SEC basketball with Nate Oates, and because they played each other. McNeese State and Alabama played. So they showed Nate Oates, Will Wade when they played in the SEC championship game going into that highlight reel. And you could see Coach Hodgson in the background after Alabama got the win. You could see him coming to the screen.
Well, some experience there when they know each other well. And I thought it was pretty cool to have two similar styles playing each other Friday night. A lot of points scored, and A-State hung right there with them. Had a big run in the first half where they held Alabama scoreless for like 4.5 minutes, got back in the game. Several times it was tied. But A-State's got a good team. I watched a lot of their game against the first game of the season. And, can't remember who it is. So many games already. And I thought Joe's opinion looked really well. I thought look, and he's coming in off the bench. He's like a sixth man. And he came in, just like Pinion, ready to shoot, and he made his first 4 threes of the game.
Well, most importantly for him is he's getting on the floor. And basketball has changed over the years that it doesn't matter as much as far as who starts the game, but who plays quality minutes. And that's something he was looking for. That's why it was important to him to get somewhere where he was going to have that playing time, have those opportunities to get in and showcase what he can do.
And we'll talk a little football, too, with Jeff Purinton also. Rough one at Louisiana. Raging Cajuns really took it to A-State Saturday night. I thought this was that was surprising. I thought A-State was going to hang with them, have a chance to win that game coming off of a bye week. A-State's been playing well and just did not have a good game whatsoever. Now they got to rebound and go to Georgia State this weekend, back-to-back road trips. All right, here's what I want to get into. I just asked Acree and Christian their thoughts. I want to know, who is the best team in the SEC? You can ride with one team right now. Who is the best team in the SEC?
If you ask now, it's going to be one team. You ask next week, it may be another team. But as of now, I'm going to go Texas. I'm going to say Texas, top to bottom with their roster. They're one of the most talented teams. And it can change simply because of what's happening in college football. You can see any of these teams go down at any point. But I think they have a little experience. Now, of course, they lose a lot of players every year. But with that coaching staff and then with some of the players that did stick around that were that have been a part of this roster and were waiting in the wings for their opportunity, and they're getting on the field now, I think they've seen it. They've seen it up close and what it looks like to be that type of team that can go far in a playoff system. And now with it expanded, it gives them even more of a chance to get to where they want to be.
I'm glad you said Texas because I did my own rankings, and I don't have Texas in my top 4.
Really?
I've got Ole Miss number 1. You give me any team right now that I feel like has a chance to win it all, I'm going with Ole Miss. I think their defense is that good. Their front seven's outstanding. Their offense, we know what they can do. I just think they're loaded, and if they get healthy at wide receiver and running back, they have a chance to win it all. I go Alabama next. You give me what they have, the experience they have, and now the quarterback, the way he was running the ball against LSU over the weekend. I'll go Alabama next, and then A&M. I think A&M, maybe talent-wise, right there with everybody else. Whether it's offense, defense, whatever, their biggest question mark, obviously, is the quarterback situation. And we've seen Wegman, we've seen the other Reed, and at times both of them looked awesome. At times they've struggled. I think they had their hiccup against South Carolina, and A&M's ready now after this bye week to finish the season strong and have a chance to get in the playoff. And then I go Georgia. I think Georgia is still one of the top teams in the country, deserving to be in the top 12 when it's all said and done, but they're going to have to win out, and they got a big one this week against Tennessee. And then I'll put Texas at 5. Right after Texas, I put Tennessee and LSU. But like you said, week to week, Tennessee goes in and beats Georgia. You got to move Tennessee up those rankings.
There's even talk, because people are kind of forecasting what it could be. There's even talk at this point of Georgia getting into a 12-team playoff if they become a 3-loss team. So they're thinking about this Tennessee game, or I don't know exactly what else they have left on the schedule, but that talk has already started with Georgia possibly getting in, and it's pretty ridiculous at this point. Now, a lot can change, and it depends a lot on what happens with other teams, and Georgia is not a 3-loss team, but just that talk is out there to begin with is pretty ridiculous with how many teams are 1-loss teams at this point.
Yeah, maybe they're in the talk. I just don't see them getting in unless a lot of crazy stuff happens between now and the end of the season. A lot of these 1-loss teams losing and dropping to 2, 2-loss teams dropping to 3.
Well,
a lot has to happen.
Yeah, I think it's more of a respect factor in what Georgia has done, being a 2-time national champion in the last 3 years. But each season should be its own, and especially now with the way that there's movement within these teams. It's not built like it once was, where you can say that these teams have earned the right because of what they've done, their resume. Each season should be treated as its own.
I agree with that. Don't worry about last year. You just worry about their current resume. So speaking of resumes, I pulled up the Texas stats like I like to do on Tuesdays, went to college football, cfbstats.com, and took a look at what Texas and how they rank. Number 2 in the SEC in scoring defense. This is SEC games only, 16.7 points per game. Rushing defense, they're 8th in the SEC, giving up 131 yards per game. Passing defense, number 1 in the SEC, giving up 150 yards per game. Total defense, Texas, number 1 in total defense, giving up just 282 yards per game. Sacks, they're 10th in the SEC. They're tied with Arkansas. 14 sacks in 5 games. They don't put a whole lot of pressure on the quarterback. Tackles for losses, same thing. They're number 9. Turnover margin, +2 in SEC games. Arkansas's -1. Nothing great there. So that made me feel a little bit better about Texas because they do not put a lot of pressure on the quarterback. They do not get a lot of tackles for a loss. That's kind of the trenches, their front seven, the weakness of their team. Then I started looking at who they play because we talked about this yesterday. I pointed out they really haven't played anybody. They played Georgia, and they got beaten by Georgia. 30-15, doubled up. Georgia jumped out to a big lead in the first half. I think it was 23-0. Texas scored a couple touchdowns. Georgia scored late when they went at 30-15. We're talking about how great the Texas defense is. Numbers say that. I mean, the numbers don't lie here. I just gave you the numbers. Very good ranking in total defense, scoring defense, rushing defense in the SEC. The offenses they played are horrendous. They have played some of the worst offenses in the SEC. In fact, Oklahoma is the worst offense in the SEC. Vanderbilt is the 14th worst offense in the SEC. Georgia, the 12th worst offense in the SEC. These are by total offense. These numbers are the rankings in SEC play only by total offense. Mississippi State, number 10 in the SEC. The best SEC offense they've played so far is Georgia. And Georgia's ranked number 8 in total offense. Arkansas, by the way, is number 2 in total offense. Georgia is number 8 in total offense. That's the best offense they played, and Georgia beat them 30-15. You can reverse that, and you talk about the Texas scoring and what they've done, the number of points that they've put up. The defenses they played in the SEC are just as bad as the offenses they played. Mississippi State, worst defense in the SEC. Florida, the next to worst defense in the SEC. Oklahoma, the 12th worst defense in the SEC. Vanderbilt, the 9th worst defense in the SEC. Georgia, the 7th best defense in the SEC. That backs up what I've been saying. They haven't played anybody except for Georgia, and Georgia's rankings in the SEC stats is middle of the pack.
Okay, and with that being said, with Georgia, you have Georgia in the top 3 still, right?
I had Georgia 4, I believe.
Right outside that top 3?
Yeah, just ahead of Texas because Georgia beat Texas.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I had Georgia number 4, Texas number 5.
Okay.
And I honestly debated. I'm not sure. Is Tennessee better than Texas, or is Texas better than Tennessee? You think Texas is better, I know.
I think Texas is better, yeah, for sure. But
and I do too. That's why I mean, trying to be honest with myself and looking at it, I think Texas beats Tennessee.
Tennessee has they can write their own path though, especially with this game coming up against Georgia. And still with Tennessee, when you think about them having that one loss, they have one loss, but it hits home with us because the one loss was to Arkansas.
I saw somebody do a mock playoff ranking bracket today, how he thinks it's going to shake out tonight. He didn't have Tennessee in the playoffs. I'm like, how was that even possible? They were 7 last week, is that right? They were in that 7-10 matchup. And I just don't see a scenario where Tennessee is left out and bumped out somehow because of what happened last week. I mean, Tennessee took care of business. Did they look awesome against Mississippi State? No, but they basically doubled them up. I don't see that just because Ole Miss jumps Tennessee that's going to knock them out of the top 12.
That's what's changed, though, in recent years where it does change week to week, and it's not just based on teams losing games. It's about their performance and how they look that certain week. They can drop spots depending on what their performance looked like. And it never was like that before. It was always about if you won the game and you were ranked in a certain spot, you were going to stay there.
Yeah, that's with the committee. You know, they sit there, they do a lot on the eye test. They watch a lot of football, and they play these same games that we're doing right here. If so-and-so and so-and-so were to play, who do you think wins that game? Who, you know, you've seen enough football, you've seen enough X and O's. Who's going to win this game? Who's the better team? Even though they haven't played yet, which one do you think's better? And so that they're good about doing that and trying to play that scenario out if it comes down to these two teams, which one's getting in, which one's not. I just think look, and in no way am I suggesting Arkansas is going to beat Texas, but what I am suggesting is there are those out there that think this is about to be a curb stomping, that it's going to look like the Ole Miss game where Texas puts up 60-something points and Arkansas, you know, is just blown out in their home stadium. I don't see it going that way. I don't. I think this is a closer game. I think Arkansas, you can't predict Arkansas in turnovers. I've quit trying to do that. More times than not, they're going to turn it over because that's who they are. But in those special games where they've taken care of the ball and either won the turnover battle or been dead even, they've either won the game or been right there. And if that's the case on Saturday, I think it happens again. I think it's a close game.
Yeah, it's hard to predict Arkansas overall, just as far as what they're capable of on the offensive side to begin with. And then defense has shown up in spots where they've looked really good, but then there have been other times where they didn't look so good. So it's just hard to get a gauge on Arkansas and how they're going to play each and every game.
The one thing I hate is we're not going to know until Saturday after Arkansas's first drive or two how effective Taylon Green is. What percent is that knee? Is he 100%? Can he run around and make plays using his feet? Can he be a weapon in the running game? Can he run the RPO with hopefully Jaquindon Jackson or Rashad Dubinion or Braylon Russell and keep it, pull it, and take off for 20, 30 yards? Does he have that explosiveness? Or is Taylon going to be hampered by that knee and maybe only 80%? And we find out kind of like, what was it, the LSU game that they said, he's not going to run it much. We're going to try to keep him in the pocket and not be a part of the running game. We're not going to know that until game time.
I think at best he's going to be about 80% because just at this time of the season and the injuries that he's had throughout the season, it's difficult for him to be 100%. Even coming off a bye and having some rest, it's just difficult at this point in the season for him to be that. But does that mean that he can't be a factor in the run game? Sure he could. But, that is a lot that has to happen, and we'll see exactly where he stands. But as far as being 100%, no, he's not going to be that.
Can he be effective? I guess that's my question.
Right.
Can he run the ball? Can he pull it? Can he have some explosiveness to pick up some chunk plays? If not, how quick? How quick would they go to Malachi? We heard that yesterday in his press conference that the way Malachi played in the second half, it does give them that confidence that if Taylon can't go, that they're not reluctant to put him in there.
And Malachi would be more effective in the run game, but what does he give you passing? That is it the same as Taylon, or is there some drop off there? And that's not saying anything against Malachi. It's just the fact that he's a backup quarterback, and they felt like Taylon was the best option. And which one of those guys is more effective when it comes to the pass game? I think that Malachi has shown that his strength is in the run game. Mm-hmm. So how effective of a passer could he be if he is into the game?
It's a small sample size, what we've seen Malachi this season throwing the ball. There was the UAPB game, the second half, came in a little bit against Tennessee, had he put together a good drive after two bad drives. Not that it was his fault, but to me, the way Arkansas has a chance in this game is to run the ball. I mean, it's clear to me, looking at the stats, watching Texas play last week, watching them play against Georgia, their secondary is much better than their front seven. They have a legit good, maybe one of the best secondaries in the SEC. They cover really well. That's why they're number one in pass defense, yards per game. They do. And I'll give them that credit as much as it pains me to give Texas any kind of credit. They have a good secondary. Now, look, they're about to see the best passing offense they've seen all season too. But I think to keep the ball out of the Texas, that offense, keep Sarkisian from over there calling some crazy plays, you want that Razorback offense to have the ball, churning out some yards, running the ball, controlling the line of scrimmage, then running some play-action pass. That, to me, is the key. You got to be able to run the ball, and a healthy Taylon Green would be key in that. Like I said, we're not going to know. We really won't know because that's the shame of it all. Back in the day, we used to get to go to practice, and we'd have these practice reports, and we'd see them for our own eyes, how effective they look, and we're not going to find out anything until Saturday.
Have you looked into the breakdown on Texas's offense, rushing and passing? Because the wonder is how effective are they as a running team? Oh,
no, they're a much better passing team. They're not a great running team. They had their injuries with their running backs, and they had a good freshman running back came in last week against Florida. I was impressed with him. He ran the ball hard, and they put up some nice numbers running the ball against Florida. But Texas is more effective in that short passing game. They're going to throw a lot to the wide receivers, and it's a lot of quick plays.
See, they
get the ball out of their hands quickly.
We said the same thing about LSU.
Yeah.
So
LSU was very effective in that short passing game.
Yeah.
We got to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk some high school football. We're going to talk a lot more Razorback football. I want y'all to jump in here. I'm anxious to hear. I want to know who you think the best team in the SEC is right now, today. A team you got to pick and ride to win a national championship. Who is that team? We'll take some calls later on. Tommy Gilleran's coming up next, head coach of the Lake Hamilton Wolves. They're hosting Jonesboro Friday night. Playoffs are here. Ready for it. It's going to be a fun one. A lot of the best teams have bye weeks this week. We still have some good games Friday night. Stick around. We're just getting started. It's Out of Bounds.
Reliance Bank presents Chris Kane when he joins Morning Mayhem every Monday. Rely on Reliance to reach your financial goals. Visit rely.bank for more information.
This is SportsCenter.
The Arkansas basketball program landed the #1 shooting guard in the country last night in overtime elite product Malik Thomas. The Pittsburgh native chose Arkansas over UConn and hometown Pittsburgh. He is the second 5-star recruit of the 2025 class so far, joining Darius Acuff Jr., who is the #1 point guard in the class and a top 10 player overall. Going off the 24/7 composite score, Thomas is the third highest recruit of the ratings era in Razorback basketball history, behind Nick Smith Jr. and Al Jefferson, who went straight to the NBA. In other Arkansas basketball news, the Razorbacks fell to 18th in the country following the loss to Baylor on Saturday. And in college basketball tonight, Arkansas State will host Little Rock at 7. It can be watched on ESPN+. Radio coverage will be on 106.7 Buzz too. I'm Christian Weaver with the Buzz Radio Network.
For those who push the boundaries and know no barriers, the wake up at nooners and dessert before dinner eaters, the jackpot dancers and sequined pantsers, the risk takers and heartbreakers, the hapless, the rogue, and the hopeless romantics. Our time has come. Play bold at the new Southland Casino Hotel, the Mid-South's premier gaming destination. Plan your stay at southlandcasino.com.
Tune in every Friday morning to hear Danny West from hogsports.com on Morning Mayhem. Brought to you by HJ Trailer Sales. They've got truck beds and utility trailers for every type of job and a service facility for maintenance and repair. Local folks with great products. Visit them online at hjtrailersales.com or in person at 808 Albert Pike in Hot Springs.
Honda of North Little Rock is under new ownership. You owe it to yourself to come see the newly remodeled showroom, as it's overflowing with new and used inventory of Honda and Yamaha ATVs and motorcycles. Don't miss out on the great deals. Meet the new owners and GM, Al Hanmaker. That's Honda of North Little Rock, 4524 MacArthur Drive.
I'm at the movies, asking people if they'll switch seats with me for $574.
Here, take mine.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
Too much work.
Not if you call them. They handle the switching.
Now that's a plot twist.
Shh. Check Allstate first, and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings. Savings vary.
A gain cent bead story. Jim was at the laundromat when he heard his ear said Maraca, senor, but his nose said, "Hey, freshest scent ever." Following his nose, Jim found a man pouring a bottle of Gain scent beads into the washer. The scent, the freshness. Jim blurted, "Sir, your scent Maraca smell amazing." Actually, Jim, most noses call them Gain scent beads. Try Gain scent beads, way fresher than detergent alone.
The holidays were made for memories. This season, make yours sophisticated and stylish with the purchase of a new Cadillac. Whether it's the all-electric Cadillac Lyriq, the redefining Cadillac XT5 and XT6, or the performance in the CT5. Be iconic this winter and make your journey getting there just as exceptional as being there. Visit your Cadillac showroom today for the season's best sales event.
Thanksgiving is almost here, which means it's time to start thinking about your holiday plans. This year, save time along with the worry and hassle and let the team at Edwards Food Giant do it for you. Their turkey dinner includes the turkey as well as their signature cornbread dressing, giblet gravy, cranberry sauce, and dinner rolls. All fully cooked, homemade, and ready for you to heat and serve to your family. If that's not enough, their deluxe turkey dinner also includes sweet potato casserole, green beans, and apple pie. Now that's what I call a Thanksgiving spread. Click on edwardsfoodgiant.com to view their full menus and find out how to order your dinner.
Car wreck? Call Rainwater Holt in Sexton.
888-8888.
8 for a fast response. 8 for results. 8 for Arkansas.
Anywhere in the state, dial 8.
888-8888.
Responsible attorneys Michael Rainwater and Bob Sexton.
Out of Bounds on 103.7 The Buzz. Live from the Gwatney Chevrolet studio. Gwatney Chevrolet. Driving, trust every mile. Out of Bounds with Joe Franklin and Wes Moore on 103.7 The Buzz.
This is number one champion sound. Yeah, Estelle, we about to get down. Who the hottest in the world right now? Just touched down in London town.
Got an awesome email yesterday from Gwatney Chevrolet. They're offering up to $2,500 more on your trade. They'll take the Kelly Blue Book number and then throw $2,500 on top. I mean, how awesome is that? We've been telling you they pay top dollar for quality cars, trucks, and SUVs. Here's proof. $2,500 more than Kelly Blue Book. Go see what your vehicle's worth at Gwatney Chevrolet. Go to the website, GwatneyChevrolet.com. Take a look at all the inventory, all the incentives, the deals, the rebates. Got some great things happening right now. No payments for the next 90 days, 0% financing on Silverados. If you want a truck, you need to check out that Silverado and 0% interest. It's all happening right now. Don't wait until Black Friday at Gwatney Chevrolet. They're giving you good deals right now, weeks before Black Friday. It's the James Street exit in Jacksonville. Wes Moore and Joe Franklin with you. Let's talk some high school football. Lake Hamilton getting ready to host Jonesboro Friday night. Tommy Gillerin, their head coach, joins us on Out of Bounds. Coach, what's up?
I'm just getting ready for practice, getting prepared to get ready for a big ball game here Friday night.
Man, you guys are rolling. That was a good victory going to Shiloh Christian and beating the Saints. What was that, about 2 Fridays ago?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, we actually, we lost 2 games in a row and kind of got our bearings back together, moved some kids around, and got focused for it, and then went up to Shiloh and beat them on their home field 35-28. And actually, Wes, we had 4 turnovers. We fumbled the ball 3 times and had a pick and still won the game. And
wow.
So that tells you the resolve and what the kids needed to do to win that ball game.
Coach, if you could sum up what's happening with the season so far, what are some of the highlights from the season?
Yeah, some of the big things is our quarterback play from Landon West has been big. We're a big run team, but he throws for over 100 yards a game in passing, and he actually had 3 touchdown passes Friday night, even though it was a pouring down rain. He made some big passes for us on that game. Hayden Barton, our fullback, he's over 1,300 yards rushing for the season. Has 22 touchdowns on the season. He's had a great season as a senior, and then. Our 2 running backs have played really well next to Barton and Dylan Murphy and Carson Jackson. They both have had really good games the last couple of weeks to kind of give us that little spark, and then our offensive line has done a good job. And then defense, that's what's kind of helped us out lately. They've kind of stepped up their game, and they played the last 2 weeks really well. With that win up there against a really good Shiloh Christian team, but also here against Russellville, beating them 56-24 here in our home field, kind of making some turnovers and doing things right to give us a chance to finish the season well.
Coach, you guys tied with Mountain Home and Shiloh Christian for second place in the West, but you end up with the 4 seed. Did it come down to the point system, the margin of victory, I guess? You didn't have enough points?
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, so it was a 3-way tie. We're all 5-2. We each beat each other, and we had 48 total points, and they both had 65. We in 2 of our other victories, we didn't get all our 13 points. So because of that, we got pointed out, and that pushed us to 4th. And then when they kicked us out, it went to head-to-head, and Shiloh beat Mountain Home. And so Mountain Home went to 3rd, and Shiloh went to 2nd.
When you look at this Jonesboro team, what are some of the challenges you see there?
Yeah, I mean, they're huge. They're physically huge kids. Their offensive line's got some kids that look like they're over 300 pounds, and then their defensive line has a couple 300-pound kids that are big and physical kids that can move well. And it's going to be a challenge Friday night. They're also very fast on offense. They got a running back that looks like he can go about every time, and they got a couple receivers that do it, and their quarterback plays been really well. And so it's a huge task. I know they're 3-7 on the record, but they played really well. They played 3 non-conference teams that are really good, and so I know that probably got them a little bit better, but they just missed some things here and there, and so it's a really good Jonesboro team. And I know if you're not ready to play, you're gonna go home Friday night with a loss.
When you're preparing this weekend, things are different because you go from regular season to playoffs. But as prepping for it, do you keep things pretty much the same, or is there a different feel to it?
No, we keep everything about the same. We want to make it feel like it's a normal game that we got to win to move on. I know it's a bigger deal because they know if you lose, it's over. And so our kids know what they want to do. They've worked all summer and these other couple months before the season started to get ready for this season. So it's a big deal to them to continue to move and to have a chance to play for a state title.
We're talking with Tommy Gillerin, head coach of the Lake Hamilton Wolves. Coach, I don't know, it must have come up about 3 times this season on the show. We talk about Jonesboro, and the coach says, man, they're big. They're huge. They look the part. They look like a small college team. What is it? Can you put your finger on their lack of success this season?
It's just a play here and a play there for them. They lost to Tulare Catholic by 5. They lost to Benton by 2 scores. And against El Dorado, they lost by, a touchdown. And so, I mean, they're a play here and a play there from being, 7-3 or, 6-4. And so it's just been a play here and there for them on their season. And so, yeah, they got a really good ball club. They just didn't get the breaks they usually get. And because of that, that's the position they're in right now. And so, we got our hands full Friday, and we've told our kids all week, if you look at their schedule, played Conway, their first ball game, and played Joe T. Robinson. So they played 2 teams that are 9-1 that beat them. So we know they're a quality football opponent.
Do you have to really kind of show those plays to the kids because they're probably guilty of looking at the standings and see, they finished 5th place, they're 3-4. We got this. You got to really harp on certain plays for Jonesboro this week.
Yeah, no doubt. In fact, we show them film, so all you got to do is show them some film and see some of the explosive plays that they have and say, hey, guys, this is the explosive plays that they have, and these are the guys that make tackles on defense. And so, yeah, it's not hard. We just got to show them film, and then, and they, the kids in their mind are wondering why, and we just say, hey, guys, they're a play here, a play there from winning these ball games, and they just haven't made the plays. And so if you're not ready to play, this is the kind of team will come up and beat you.
So knowing how big Jonesboro is, and there could be a size difference, how do you counter that from a team standpoint?
Yeah, one of the things, that, since the one advantage we probably have on them and anybody from that other conference is we run the wing T, which is, a lot of play action, a lot of fakes, a lot of things going on, misdirection, and I think a lot of the misdirection stuff we do will give them a hard time. And so, they have 3 days to get ready for an offense they haven't seen all year. And so they're going into, today's practice, trying to emulate the wing T, and it's awful hard for teams to do that. And that's the advantage we have. We feel like going into it is the misdirection and the different things that go on with the wing T offense. About you have to be in position to play. You just can't go get us. If you go get us, there's plays that we can get you to take advantage of your scheme and stuff. And so we feel like that's our advantage, and so we need to use that to our advantage to give us a chance to win on Friday.
Where does that come from as far as running wing T? Because that is an offense you don't see much. Is that something that you saw within your coaching background, early in your career where that was something that you really liked and thought that is something you can use to a big advantage?
Yeah, no doubt. I learned from my first job was with a guy named John Carnes who learned it from Tommy Tice. Tommy Tice is out of retirement to coach at Farmington. I don't think they're running it up there, but he learned from him, and I got it from him. And then I actually, when I took over as a head coach over after he left, we ran some spread and some wing T. But when I got to Fountain Lake, it really matched and mirrored the kids that I had there, that it gave me an opportunity to win on Friday nights, even if I wasn't as talented as somebody else. It gave me an opportunity because people had to play assignment football. And so I continue to learn and understand it better. And because the more I learned and understood, I thought no matter where you go, you can run this type of offense and have success. No different than Harding University running the flex bone. Teams don't see that very often, and then all of a sudden you see it, and they have, in college they have 3 or 4 days to get ready for that offense. Similar type of understanding of position football and stuff. And so because of the people I've learned from, it gave me an opportunity to learn it and do it at a higher and a better calling of what you can do on offense.
We're talking with Tommy Gillerin down at Lake Hamilton. Coach, I'm curious about Mountain Home. We've seen Greenwood and what they can do, and Shiloh Christian, their offense. But, Mountain Home's up there in that area. We don't get a lot of highlights out of Mountain Home. What kind of team is this? And what do you think of their chances in the playoffs?
Yeah, I think they've got a really good football team this year. And, the big thing that's probably hurt them the most is, they have some key injuries as the year's gone on. They've lost 2 or 3 receivers. They lost some linemen, lost some different things all through the year. The game last week with them in Greenwood, it was 14-0 at half.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the least amount of points Greenwood's probably scored in a half in a while. And so, Mountain Home's a really good football team. They're big and physical. They've got a really good running back that makes people pay. If you don't get your hands on him, he'll make you run over you or run around you. And then defensively, they're big and physical, and they get after you. And so, Steve Aries done a great job up there of getting those kids and developing them and getting them stronger. They've got a really good football team, and they'll have an opportunity to see Greenwood again if they can win 2 rounds, which I think they can, and have another chance at Greenwood to play for a state title on the other side of the bracket.
If somebody was asking me about that matchup with Sheridan, do they match up with him? I was like, I don't know anything about Mountain Home. I haven't seen them play in person this year, and I don't even know what they do.
Yeah, they coach them, so they're a spread type offense, and they're a 3-4 defense, and they're big and physical. Sheridan's their offensive line's huge and big, and so they really mash people and get after you. But they can throw it a little bit too. The problem with Mountain Home is they lost their quarterback about 3 weeks ago, and so they've been more running the ball. They've moved a receiver to quarterback, and they're running some power read and some midline and some different things where they're running that good running back and then using another guy to run the ball too. But he can throw it just a little bit, not great like the other kid that broke his collarbone. And so if you're not ready for them, they're going to get after you and attack you and be physical.
Coach, best of luck Friday night. Can't wait to see it. We're going to send somebody down there and get some highlights. I think it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, amen. Thanks, man. I appreciate it, guys.
You bet. Thank you, Coach. Tommy Gillerin with us on Out of Bounds. When we come back, we'll wrap up the first hour, take some of your calls. Get back into Razorback football. We're going to talk Razorback basketball in the next hour. We got Coach Z joining us. So I want to talk a little football. 661-1037. Best team in the SEC. Who is it? Your thoughts? We got the college football playoff rankings coming out tonight. So I wanted to talk a little SEC football and who you think is the top team. Your call's next. Check the D3 Auto Sales text line. It's Out of Bounds.
Catherine Eldridge here with Doe's Eat Place Little Rock, reminding you to call us and book your holiday party now. We can do parties from 7 to 65. Just call 501-376-1195 for more information and to book your group. And remember, Doe's Eat Place, for goodness sakes.
Fellas, are you dealing with low energy? Do you not have the same pep in your step that you used to have? It could be low testosterone. Testosterone replacement therapy, or TRT, is the answer. But guys, we have different T levels, man. We're not all the same. Don't go for TRT with a standard dosage plan. Ask. There is a difference. Look for TRT with an optimized personal treatment plan. That's what you'll get with the experts at Low T Center. They provide advanced therapy and have over a decade of experience to back it all up. Go to lowtcenter.com to book your appointment online. That's lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Roger, did you know that Oaklawn Sports is the mobile app that lets you bet anywhere in Arkansas?
Anywhere, so I can bet the over when I'm in Dover.
Indeed you can.
I can take the underdog in Dogtown.
Absolutely.
You're telling me I can bet on the pigskin in Piggott?
Yep.
Hoops in Humnoke, baseball in Bauxite, long shots in Lavaca?
All of the above.
Anywhere, huh?
Anywhere.
Nice.
Easy to use and even easier to fund. Bet with confidence. Bet with Oaklawn Sports. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
Hey there, you and aisle 2. I see you by the fiber and laxatives. You still using those to manage your constipation with belly pain? If your symptoms keep coming back, you may have irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C. So you may need more than over-the-counter treatments to manage it. Ask your doctor about how Linzess can help you get ahead of it.
Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LANZESS.
Whether it's the Razorbacks, the Bears, or the Red Wolves, we've got you covered. Saturday, the Arkansas Razorbacks host the Longhorns of Texas. Our coverage begins with the Hog Wild pregame show at 7 a.m. and kickoff at 11 a.m. on 103.7 The Buzz. UCA welcomes the Thunderbirds of Southern Utah to Estes Stadium. Pregame coverage on the Point 94.1 begins at 3 p.m. with kickoff at 4 p.m. And Arkansas State travels to Georgia State as they face the Panthers at Turner Field. Our coverage begins at 3:30 p.m. on 106.7 Buzz 2 with kickoff at 4 p.m. College football in Arkansas. We've got you covered.
Oh, I wish I could have been there when the truck pulled into Genesis of Conway with all those incredible automobiles, those GV80s from Genesis, and watched them come off that truck, knowing that Genesis of Conway can get you into one of those incredible automobiles at 2.9% interest for 60 months right now. Oh, I'd love to see your face when you first take that test drive. It's incredible. Genesis of Conway, the future of luxury today.
Deer season is just around the corner. Gear up at Honda of North Little Rock. We have the highest quality and performing four-wheelers and side-by-sides. Stop in and meet the new owners and GM Al Hammaker. He is a dandy. New Honda Rancher starting at $6,519. New Honda Rubicon starting at $8,990. And Honda side-by-sides starting at $13,499. We have amazing deals for a limited time. Don't miss your chance for huge savings. Come see us today. That's North Little Rock Honda. Visit HondaNLR.com.
103.7 The Buzz is your home for Arkansas Razorbacks basketball. Coverage is brought to you by Gwatney Chevrolet, Malvern National Bank, Arkansas Scholarship Lottery, Genesis of Conway, and Chris Crane Hyundai.
Out of Bounds, live from the Gwatney Chevrolet studio.
Hey, Mustard on the beat, Debo, any rap. He a free throw, man down, call her Amber Lambs, tell him free, bro. Nella to the cross, he walk around like Tizo. What's up with these jabroni?
Back at it, Out of Bounds. Westmore, Joe Franklin. Let's go, 661-1037. Talking about the best team in the SEC. How would you rank them? I'm going Ole Miss. Joe's going Texas. This one from the 501 says, Alabama Crimson Tide. Eyeball test. 2 huge wins. They looked really good Saturday night down in Baton Rouge. I'll give them that.
Yeah, and Jalen Milroe, he continues to surprise at times where he's dominant. He's dominant in some of these, and especially in big games.
Mm-hmm.
I think the lasting image for a lot of people is the loss at Vandy and how they kind of got behind in that game. Now, they did make a comeback, but it was every time they had something that went their way and was good, Vandy countered it, and Vandy went and scored. So they were always playing catch-up, and I think that's a lasting image for a lot of people.
You know, the lasting image of that game for me is the defense for Alabama, how they were allowing Vandy just continually to get up and down the field, to score points. Got to a crunch time where you're like, all right, here's Vandy. They're going to get the ball back. They're going to win this thing. And Vandy just takes it right to them down the field. That, to me, was what was shocking about that game, because I still think Bama's got a good defense. And they did play better defensively this past week against LSU. But, yeah, 2 quality wins, beating LSU, beating Georgia. I'm not going to argue with that. I got Alabama in my top 4. What did I do with my list? Ole Miss, I got Alabama too. So, yeah, I'm right there with you. I got Alabama, then Ole Miss, then Alabama. Let's see here. How do we go from who's the best team in the SEC to who can win it all? Those are 2 separate questions, kind sir. Well, wouldn't you agree the best team in the SEC can win it all? And that's usually how it happens. If you're the best team in the SEC, chances are your best team in the country can win it all. Kind of goes hand in hand.
They can, but there's a lot of good football played outside of
conference. But they're going to have a chance to win it all. If you're the best team in the SEC, yeah, you can win it all. Savage is in Cabot. What's up, Savage?
What's up, fellas?
Hey,
as far as where you got them ranked at West, I got Texas 3, I got Georgia 4, but it's a toss-up for me. So you got two good quarterbacks for Ole Miss and Bama. Who's got the better pieces? So
I like the Ole Miss defense better than Alabama's defense, honestly.
Yeah, because Alabama, one player goes down, Milroe goes out, that team's shut down. I think Ole Miss has got some better pieces. That's just my thoughts. I got Ole Miss 1, Alabama 2. Y'all have a good one.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And then to that point, with Texas, you know that they have 2 quarterbacks that are capable.
Yes, they do. I want to see the Texas defense this week. They can win me over. You know, if they come in and shut down the Arkansas offense and Arkansas is not able to move the ball like they were. Well, I was about to say Ole Miss, but Arkansas moved the ball against Ole Miss, put up 30 points.
Yeah, that could be, a facade there as far as what the score was.
Kind of indicated, yeah. The most difficult time moving the ball, A&M. They had some difficult, they hit on a big A&M, play against the A&M. They got them 1 score.
A&M does have one of the top defenses.
They do have a good defense.
But LSU, they didn't do a lot against LSU.
We know what Arkansas's kryptonite is, and it's a really good defensive line, or bringing some pressure on the quarterback, disrupting things, and that's what Ole Miss had. What they end up with 8 sacks against Arkansas that day.
They had quite a bit.
They had a bunch.
They stayed in the backfield.
Yeah, they had 10 the week before against Oklahoma, and then 8, I think it was, against Arkansas.
And then Pegues, the guy who's up front disrupting a lot, they put him in the backfield to run the ball. Now, did see that he left the game against Georgia with an injury and didn't really see what happened after that as far as what his status is now.
You know who I like for Ole Miss? Besides all those wide receivers, that big tight end.
Number 8.
Yeah, that big dude.
Yeah.
Man, he was making some plays again last week, and he made all kinds of plays. What a nightmare matchup for defenses. I mean,
you have to worry about all these receivers, and then the tight end is running down the field.
Man, he was impressive. 501 writes in on the D3 Auto Sales text line. I love it when we talk stats. I do that on Tuesdays. So take a look at college football. CFBstats.com, great website, and I love how you can you can look at the individual, just conference stats. You can look at overall the stats in the SEC, or you can click on SEC stats when they only play SEC games, and that's what I'm doing now. They're far enough into the schedule at 5-6 games. I don't care what they did against the non-conference. They probably padded their stats in the non-conference, and it can kind of change things up. You click on in-conference play only, you get a pretty good sense of what some of these teams are doing in conference play. 940, this is our Texas Longhorn fan that's been writing in. Arkansas's offense is ranked 8th in SEC. Wes, you're clueless, bud. No, go to CFBstats.com, look at total offense, and it's a regular season or in conference play. It doesn't matter. Arkansas is number 2 in total offense. And that's what I said. Total offense. They're ranked number 2. You're clueless, bud. You're a Longhorn fan. I feel for you. Wes, this is from LC. I didn't realize our offense was ranked number 2 in total yards. I also think our defense.
I don't know if anybody realized that.
I know. I honestly, I didn't either. When I clicked on it at first, it gives you overall. And I was like, yeah, Arkansas padded the stats against UAPB. The Oklahoma State game, they had a ton, but then when I clicked on conference games only and they stayed there at number 2, I was like, wow, I didn't realize that.
Now, their stats could be padded because of the Mississippi State game.
And, honestly, the Ole Miss game, because the game had gotten out of hand and they got a lot of yards against Ole Miss. LC continued to write. I also think our defense is number 2.
As far
crap
as Texas?
Emoji. No, defense. Yes, they are next to last.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, it was number 2 crap emoji in total yards. They are. They've given up a lot of yards. Points per game, they're a little bit better, but still Here recently, these last 3 games against Ole Miss, LSU, and Mississippi State, that's hurt their stats because they were well up there. In the last 3 weeks, they've been tumbling down. Hopefully, the Hogs start the game at 100%. That way, when we get to about the fourth quarter, they're only about 25% effective, as opposed to their normal 5% effective in the fourth quarter. JW writes in, Malachi Singleton is faster on the release going to the quarterback. He's a better thrower. He's fast running. His decisions are on point. And when he came in the third quarter with 10 minutes left on the same defense, I believe he did all the scoring that was left to do. I don't get you guys reasoning anymore. We just said Malachi played well. We were very complimentary of Malachi, and the coaches were very complimentary of Malachi and said that they have more trust in him. If Taylon's not playing well or he's ineffective due to his knee injury, that they're less hesitant to put Malachi in. There was not one negative thing JW said about Malachi.
I think it's based more so on health. I don't think if Taylon's not really playing well and they feel like he is completely healthy, that they're looking to make a change.
Correct.
I don't think they are at that point.
No. But right now it's all about his injury. How effective is he running around, moving in the pocket, avoiding pressure? If the knee is hampering him, I think they'll be willing and able to give Malachi a shot. I think he's earned that after what he did in the second half, now 3 different times he's appeared in a game. But if Taylon's out there playing well, running around, no, he's your guy. He's your quarterback. Not sure they are the best. This is from the 870. This is Jeff. Jeff says, not sure that they are the best over the last 2 weeks, though. Ole Miss has been the best on both sides of the ball. 501. It's JP. JP wants to know, is Jaquindon Jackson expected to be back this week? Yes. Coach Pittman on Monday said he was going to give it a go at practice this week and felt like he was going to be able to play. We'll get the first availability report tomorrow night, but I expect Jaquindon Jackson to be out there and give it a go. Steve sent us a video or a picture. So much for the low score. I guess the first on to 20 did win. So much. Yeah, I think you're talking about my pick for a lower scoring game against Ole Miss. And that did not unfold the way I was thinking. I was wrong. How about that? When we come back, we got the Razor Hog update brought to you by Bradford Marine and ATV. And we're going to talk to Coach Z, talk some hoops.
Already have the Bet Saracen Sports Wager app? Download it today from the app stores or go to BetSaracen.com. Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports betting app.
What's going on, everyone? DJ Williams here with Ginger Russell from Russell Chevrolet. Ginger, how you doing?
I'm doing great, DJ.
All right, now there's 3 things we have in common. We both love the Razorbacks, we both love Chevys, and we both love great deals.
Absolutely, DJ. This month at Russell Chevrolet, we have 5.9% financing on Silverado half-ton trucks for 84 months with approved credit.
Man, 5.9 with 84 months. Talk about a deal. Ginger, where can they find you?
Well, we're a mile and a half north of McCain Mall, or you can find us at russellchevrolet.com.
On the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me a gift box of Petit Jean meat. Which means the song is over because on the following days of Christmas, there was no gift that equaled the Petit Jean meat gift box. Generous servings of smoked sausage, peppered bacon, summer sausage, and smoked bacon with the Petit Jean meat gift box. Those wonderful people on your list will taste the difference. Find it and order it at pjmeats.com. No, pjmeats.yum.
It's where the big boys come to play.
This is madness! This is Sparta!
103.7 The Buzz, KABZ Little Rock. Buzz News with KARK's Claire Kreitz.
A rule change in the state Senate chamber is resulting in heavy pushback from the minority party. Senate Republicans voted to block any members of the minority party from being able to vice chair a committee. That role becomes important when the chair is not present, leaving it up to the vice chair to head a committee meeting. Democratic leaders are calling the move petty and say it just weakens an already weak minority. But Republicans maintain this reflects the will of voters. Arkansas Children's Research Institute is looking into why kids in Arkansas struggle with asthma more than kids in other parts of the country. Arkansas Children's Research Institute is getting a 4-year grant worth $662,000 from the National Institutes of Health. Doctors will be researching factors like home environment, access to health care, and healthcare quality to determine how providers can better help kids in Arkansas. This is Claire Kreitz for the Buzz Radio Network.
Weather from the Fletcher Weather Center. Buzz Weather with KARK's Pat Walker.
A sunny sky this afternoon with a high of 69 degrees and an east-northeast wind of 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, mostly clear, kind of chilly, down to 51 degrees. Tomorrow, becoming mostly cloudy with a high of 70 and a 30% chance of showers in the afternoon. For the Buzz Radio Network, I'm meteorologist Pat
Fletcher
Walker.
Dodge wants to buy your car. We'll buy any make or model, and we'll pay you more than anyone else. Please, turn your old car into cash at Fletcher Dodge in Sherwood.
Roger Scott is at it again with his Razorback Song of the Week, presented by Dr. Jimmy Tucker at Ortho, Arkansas. Join Morning Mayhem each week as the smooth, dulcet tones of Roger Scott bring you his Razorback Song of the Week. It's all brought to you by Dr. Jimmy Tucker at Ortho, Arkansas, and your fun and game station 103.7 The Buzz.
The king of Arkansas sports talk, Randy Rainwater for Bet Saracen.
In Arkansas, 7 out of every $10 placed on a sporting bet app is with Bet Saracen, because Bet Saracen offers more ways to win and more ways to get paid, and faster. Find your winners on Bet Saracen and look for my Double R prop bet specials. I pick them and you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Brooke here, live from the sports desk. Our number one play comes from the number one Hyundai dealer in Arkansas. Chris Crane Hyundai of Conway, coming in hot with another huge score. Inventory selection to fit any budget. Boom! Look how they say yes. Game-changing action from the winning team at Chris Crane Hyundai of Conway.
Win big with 1.99% financing. New Tucsons and Elantras at Chris Crane Hyundai in Conway and online at chriscranehyundai.com.
This year, we considered hiring an ad agency to help with our marketing.
They pitched impressive visuals and a script that was inspiring.
And exotic animal mascots to help grab your attention.
In the end, we just decided to tell it to you straight. Shelter Insurance has award-winning customer service at affordable rates.
Plus, our local agents are there to help you understand what coverage you need.
See shelter agents Richard Yeager or Jason Daly in Little Rock or Agent Lawrence Forrester in Cabot today.
Arkansas is special. Our people are honest and hardworking. The Brad Hendricks Law Firm is pure Arkansas. We were raised here, we live here, and we're straight shooters. Unfortunately, out-of-state lawyers who care nothing about Arkansas are advertising for your legal business. They don't understand that you don't hand Arkansans a pile of cow dung and try to tell us it's a rose. Don't be just a number. Call the Brad Hendricks Law Firm. Tradition, reputation, results.
And ESPN Radio Extra Point with Mike Greenberg.
The Bears are a failure. They're an organizational failure. This was predictable. There's nothing I hate more than when the easy-to-see problem, the one that you can easily see coming, is the one that derails you. Things are going to come at you that take you by surprise in your life, and you will struggle because of them. Something will come out of nowhere. Oh, man, I did not see that coming. That's not your fault. That's not a failure to prepare. With the Bears, this was so easy to see, and everyone saw it. This dopey talk show host sitting right here on the radio screamed and yelled over and over again, don't start over again without a new coach. Don't do to Caleb what you did to Trubisky and what you did to Justin Fields. This kid is more talented than the two of them put together. He's a magician. He has magic in him. It needs to be cultivated. It needs to be molded. He's got incredibly good clay. And the Bears have turned him into silly putty.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
Live from the Gwatney Chevrolet studio, this is Out of Bounds with Wes Moore and Joe Franklin on 103.7 The Buzz.
Tastes like Kool-Aid for the analyst. Girl, I can buy your Westie world with my base stuff. I know that it's good. Won't you sit it on my taste buds? I get way too petty once you let me do the extras. Pull up on your block and break it down. We playing Tetris. AM to the PM, PM to the AM phone. Eat up your per diem. You just gotta hate them phone.
It's now time for your Razor Hog Update, presented by Bradford Marine and ATV, your Can-Am super headquarters. Bradford Marine and ATV with many statewide locations. Visit BradfordMarine.com, selling fun since 1971.
Hey, the Arkansas women came to Little Rock last night and picked up a victory. They were trailing and going double digits, going to the fourth quarter. Big rally. Go to overtime, 60-60, and then they outscored Little Rock 11-0 to win 71-60. Mike Neighbors and his women get it done in Little Rock. Arkansas football team getting ready to host Texas. Gave you that line, 13.5 on Bet Saracen. Kind of staying there at that 13.5 line. Started at 17.5, went down quickly to 13.5. Now I think it's found a home.
That's where you would expect it to stay. Close.
I would like to see it get to 14. I guess you could always move it yourself and just get less odds, but I'd feel comfortable taking 14.
So less comfortable taking 13?
It gives me a
little bit of a buffer there.
Yeah. So I'd like to have those two touchdowns. I'd probably do that. Let's see. When we got basketball. We got Arkansas-Troy tomorrow night. That's a 7 o'clock start at Bud Walton Arena. The Razorbacks favored by 13.5, according to Bet Saracen. Troy comes in with a 2-0 record, and the Sunbelt Conference Player of the Week. Troy's Jackson Fields was just named the Sunbelt Conference Player of the Week after leading Troy to a 2-0 start last week. They beat New Orleans. And they also beat Toledo, Holy Toledo. They had the MEAC Sunbelt Challenge to start the season, and Troy won that game, and they were led by Jackson Fields. So somebody to keep an eye on tomorrow night when Arkansas takes on Troy. Get Coach Z in here and talk a little Razorback basketball with him. Arkansas went down to Dallas. Pretty cool atmosphere there at American Airlines Center. Sounded like. I'll get Coach Z's opinion on it. Sounded like to me it was pretty 50-50 with Razorback. Maybe it's a little bit louder for the Razorback fans watching the game.
I'll tell you, I was watching that game with my uncle, and he's like, oh, this game is in Arkansas? And I said, no, it's in Dallas. He said, man, there are a lot of fans there.
Yeah, it was a pretty cool environment. It got loud. I mean, when Baylor would do something, you could hear their fans. But, of course, when Arkansas had a nice little rally and tied things up, it got loud in there. Those are always fun. I thought there would be more, though. I think I saw the total number was around 10,000. I was kind of disappointed in that number. I thought it would be higher, but it's still football season. It was a Saturday night, and maybe folks in the Metroplex were doing something else, and maybe not a lot of fans going down from Fayetteville, Northwest Arkansas, Central Arkansas, going down to Dallas for this game early in the season. But when I saw that number, I'll be honest, I was a little disappointed. I'd have thought, Joe, 14, 15, 16,000. But to draw 10, I thought that was a little bit on the low side. For a top 15, 16 matchup, I figured it would be, maybe, I'm not saying a sellout, but I don't know. Just thought 10,000 was low for that game. And hopefully they'll have a good turnout tomorrow night for
Yeah,
Troy.
hopefully so.
Hopefully the
Hopefully
people
so.
who have learned their lesson and didn't use their stats or didn't use their seats, we'll give them away to somebody or give them to the university so that the university can do something with those seats. Steve on the D3 Auto Sales text line says he thought it was funny. Stark didn't understand the Arkansas hatred. He blamed Darrell Royal for it. His famous he met with the media on Monday, and Sarkisian said he didn't know what Darrell Royal did to Arkansas back in the day, but they absolutely hate our guts.
And that was his attempt at humor. That's what that was.
It was Tessitore who had the comment after the game against Texas in 21, and he also repeated that. He thinks Arkansas fans hate Texas more than they like themselves.
Yeah.
And he quoted that. 501 says Saturday was the opening day of deer season, which probably contributed to lower attendance numbers. That's a good point. All right, yeah, I'll buy that one. Ole Miss defense was the Ole Miss offense was only great against our pathetic defense, not against Georgia. I thought they were pretty darn good against Georgia. They scored 28 in the rain. I mean, it was nasty conditions. I thought their offense played pretty well, considering, the injuries that they have. I don't know. I get it. You may not be an Ole Miss fan. Brad's in Searcy. I was impressed with what their offense
how's it
did.
going, guys?
Hey, Brad.
Good.
Hey, I just let y'all know. Wes, how old is your oldest daughter?
My oldest is 19.
Yeah. Okay, mine's 22. I knew they were close together. She just had a little baby boy named Zachary Zane yesterday on Veterans Day.
Awesome.
And and I showed him to her godparents, which is customary, right? And they showed me their grandson, whose name is Harlan, and he goes to some high school in Las Vegas, and he's committed to UNLV, and he's 6'5", 345, and plays both ways now, but can be a different playmaker there. And I tried to tell him as much as I could about Coach Odom, but maybe y'all can give me a little insight, and I'll give him some more ammunition for him playing at UNLV.
Well, that's a big boy, 6'5", 345.
So I mean that's a push right there with mom in the same town. So
yeah.
I mean that's a lot of the reasons why I know he went to UNLV there. So yeah, just give me that, and I'll hang up and listen.
You bet,
Have
Brad.
a good day.
Thanks, man.
Well, what's been said about Coach Odom is players absolutely love him.
Mm-hmm.
Players, other coaches that he's coached with, he just has something about him that draws people to him.
Defensive background. So if he wants to be a defensive tackle at 6'5", 345, Coach Odom's got that defensive mind about him, but they may seem more as an offensive lineman. I tell you what, he is what he has done. I don't want to say resurrected his career, because I don't think people were that down on him. But he's gone and shown everybody that he is a good head coach. We knew he was a good defensive coordinator, but he's gone out and maybe repaired his image a little bit with the success that they're having at UNLV. He did a great job in the portal, and he was always a good recruiter too. I always thought of him as a good recruiter. And obviously, since their son has chosen to stay there in town and play for UNLV, that he's done something well for mom and dad to make them think this is the place for him, and we want to keep him here to play football here.
Coming into Arkansas, there was a thought that he got a raw deal anyway from Missouri.
Yeah.
And then the other thought was we have him for a matter of time. It's just a matter of time before he gets that next chance to become a head coach again, and we saw it play out that way.
Could we say it's just a matter of time again before he's somewhere else? I mean, the success he's having at UNLV, I could see somebody else coming in and scooping him up and taking him away. Although, and I've read several stories on this, and it kind of popped up over the weekend with Florida and Napier, the vote of confidence and saying that he would be back next year. There are a lot of athletic directors that are having to watch their the bank
The
account.
Yeah.
Because of what's about to happen with the NCAA and it's unsure times. You know, how much are they going to have to put aside to pay these players if and when there's the settlement with the lawsuit and whatever Congress decides to act on this on all this.
Well, I like the fact that Florida's AD did what he did when he did it, the timing on it, because there was nothing about it that was reactionary. He said that he's going to return. Billy Napier is going to return, and of course, Florida had a bad loss after that. So
yeah,
he already put everything and settled it before it could even get to that point where it's like, you know, if something comes down the line where they don't look good and their season's been up and down, fans are going to be calling for change there. And he put all that to rest before it even got to that point.
Yeah, I think with the uncertain times and with money issues coming up, you're going to have fewer ADs making the decision to buy out this large contract from a coach and firing guys. You may not have the mass firings you've had in the past until they know exactly what they're going to have to spend on these student athletes.
That's why these contracts may become more important as far as coaches and the way they're set up with the buyouts. If you hire a coach, you probably know at this point, you know, it's in for long term, which it should be. Because if you're going to give someone a 5+ year contract, then you do have the thought that this person is going to come in and maybe change some things around or have the ability to win. If you believe that on the front end, you can't get 2 years in and say, it's not happening. Let's get out.
Mm-hmm. Not anymore. Not for now, anyway. So I could see that a dip in the number of firings this offseason just because of what they're facing. So much for that one. Saturday was opening day. I think we're all caught up. Let me go over to while we're getting Coach Z on here, the True Service Community Federal Credit Live Fan Feedback and Stats Guy. Oh, that's from Beyonce. Did you know Beyonce is now the most nominated artist in Grammy history? Heard it on the news. Leading the 2025 awards with 11 nods, a new single-year record for a female artist, taking her total to 99 nominations. Thank you, Stat Guy. I think that must have been for Acre. What time was that?
No, that's big for Beyonce, though.
13:26 have been 1:26 our time, unless we haven't gone over for daylight savings time.
Yeah, she's number one nominated, and of course, number one as far as wins. It goes hand in hand.
Just a winner. All she does is win. Kind of like Coach Z. What's up? How are you?
What's going on, Wes? Who y'all talking about being a winner?
Beyonce.
Oh, yeah, definitely a winner. Yeah.
Big time.
Absolutely.
I was going. That's not a good transition since Arkansas didn't win against Baylor, but I was still pleased. You know, I'm not into moral victories, but I can see the talent. I can see the potential there in this team, and I think once they get Jonas Adu going, he's going to be a big help. And then of course with Nelly, he's struggling with his 3-point shot and his wrist, and I think once they get him going, this team's just going to be even better.
Definitely, they're a fun team. They got a lot of energy. They like being around each other. They're confident, but just got to get better at some things. And definitely, the zone hurt this team, and I think they'll end up being okay against the zone. He's worked on it a lot the last couple of days, and if you're saying, well, we should have worked on it before the game, well, he did that too. But the problem was the not getting the scrimmage. 5 really good players versus 5 really good players, I think, caught up with us on that. I used to talk about how Coach Muss ran really good practices, didn't do hardly any scrimmaging, and I thought that hurt us at times. And Coach Cal does like the scrimmage. And so he's been telling the media basically since September that I don't have enough. He's got 15 guys, but at times he was practicing with 5. Well, I never saw a practice with 5, but I did see a practice with 7. I saw several practices with 8 guys. And then you'd have to throw in some grad assistants and managers, and that's just not the same. And they worked against the zone, but they never got to work against the zone with, 5 really good players going against 5 really good players. And I think we got that jump ball, West, down there at American Airlines Center, and I was sitting there and thinking, Scott Drew has always played zone, but he's played more man-to-man, especially since that national championship team he had played a lot of man-to-man. And you're like, please be in man, please be in man. And they were in the 1-3-1 zone off the bat. And you're like, okay, let's see how this goes. We start off 0-9. We looked a little bit, we weren't very good against it, obviously. We were much better in the second half. But that first half was the tail of the game, and we're down 9, and the whole game we were having to play from behind. And I think Nelly will help that. Jonas Adu will help it. But really, it's those other 7 that are healthy getting better together. And they've got to. They've got to, because we will see some more zone. Baylor has a good zone. He's a good zone coach. And so we won't see a whole lot better zone defenses. But it was a tough loss at the end of the day. I mean, there's a lot invested into the Razorback basketball. We want to win every game. And so when you lose, it's disappointing. And it was kind of deja vu, because we'd just been down there Friday night before that and lost a heartbreaker to TCU, although in a game that didn't count. So there we are. We suffer another kind of a heartbreaking game, and hopefully this team can learn from it, get better.
Zone teams are probably the best against zone teams because they see it day in and day out in practice. Is it a problem simply because teams don't see it that much?
You don't see it as much as you used to. You just don't have as many people playing it. Some people that play it do not play it very well, and so it's not great zone defenses usually. Now, like when you play a Baylor, that's a good zone team. That's a team that knows what they're doing. They cut off the gaps pretty good. A lot of people can't rebound versus a zone when they're playing a zone defense. Baylor rebounds well off the zone, and although we did out rebound them, but I do think that the more we see it, we'll be better at it. Troy plays both. Troy plays man and zone, so we may see some zone again.
Coach, man, I love watching Thiero. I had to learn to say Thiero, and now I got to learn to say Thero. I love watching him play.
We called him Thiero all the time when we was at Kentucky, and then we got here, and then we changed it to Thero. So we'll do whatever they say.
What's the Thiero on that? The theory on that?
Yeah. I just don't know. Kentucky, when you look at their pronunciation guide, they had it as Thiero, and that's what we always said. But I think it really came from him, mostly. Him saying, this is how you pronounce it. And so I'm not sure why, with Kentucky, why they had it the way it was, but it was always Thiero. And, Coach Cal calls him Thiero. And so that's kind of what I like to do, but he has told us that it's Thiero, so I think it's going to be kind of all over the place this year. We just try to do what the kid asks. So it's kind of a unique situation.
Am I okay with just saying Big Z?
Yeah, Big Z. Yeah, Big Z likes getting my videos that I do pregame and postgame. He likes to know when I'm doing my video. He's always trying to stick his head into my videos. So, but he's a funny kid. Yeah, he's a good kid.
Back to Thiero. Thiero. What is it that his motor? Has it always been like that, Coach? When he was at Kentucky, I mean, he was just nonstop the other night. Well, both of the games I've watched him at Arkansas, his motor's awesome.
Okay, his motor goes, and he gets after it so hard. And I thought at Kentucky, both those 2 years he played there, West, we would play him one game, and he would look really good. And then the second time we'd play him, he wouldn't even be out there. He would be injured or out, or he wasn't playing much at that time. That happened both those years. And so I think it was just some inconsistent time for him. And now he sees himself as, this is my opportunity to be here every day, stay healthy. He missed a little bit of practice in the summer, too. Not a lot, but he missed some. And it's been good that he's back. He's very healthy. He's so explosive. He's so strong. You look at his height and weight, he's LeBron James' size. And he's got a great motor. He was so good the other night. If he can continue like that, this team's going to be really, really good. Boogie's such a great player. Adu's playing great. As you said, add a couple other guys kind of elevating a little bit like Nelly or Jonas or Zavonimir, and all of a sudden, this is an elite, talented team.
Coach, who's the best shooter on this team that you've seen so far? And that goes back to you seeing some practice leading into the season.
Yeah.
Who would you say has stood out as far as being able to shoot the ball from outside.
And speaking of practice, can you hear music in the background? I just walked out here. They got their pregame stuff going on, pre-practice stuff, so they got music going. Coach Christian going to be at practice today. It'll be the first time since Miss Rose passed. He wanted to come watch the guys. So in practice, Boogie really shoots it well. DJ shoots it much better than he's been shooting it in games. Remember, DJ hit 4 threes against us in Rupp last year. He's just not been shooting it good in the games, but he's a guy in drills. He wears it out. You watch him in practice. Zavonamir, Carter, and Adu all shoot it very well. Nelly, to me, has not shot it as well since he got hurt. He got hurt early October. So during the summer, he looked good. He was shooting the ball well. He was confident. And I just think that wrist has bothered him a little bit. And he's been a little bit slow into coming back. And so, but they've got some capable shooters. There's guys that can shoot. And Cal's been saying that over and over. We got guys that make shots. Now, when you go 5 for 20, you know, the game before that, we made 4 threes. I think game before that, we made 5. Another game before that, we made 4. So we're making 4 or 5 a game, and that really needs to become 7 or 8 made threes a game. Most of the teams that win a national championship are making 8, 9, 10 threes a game on average. No matter how hard they drive it, no matter how much they rebound it, like UConn, you still got to be able to. Those guys always were making 8, 9 3-pointers a game.
Coach, what about Troy? What do we need to know about Troy?
Sorry I missed your call, Coach. Okay, all good. Oh, you didn't call me? Okay, that's all right. Okay, let me finish this interview up, Coach. Troy comes in with a good coaching staff. I got a longtime buddy of mine named Larry Cordero is on the staff. They're going to have a small staff, about 3 or 4 assistants, a good head coach who changes defenses. He's a pretty good defensive mind. He's been a head coach for a while, and they'll be okay. They've got a couple talented guards. They're not going to be the biggest team we face. They're a little bit scrappy, a little bit smaller. They started off the season pretty good, but it's going to be a tough challenge for them coming in here. I think we'll have a better crowd. I don't know why about last Wednesday we just did not have a big crowd. It was Cal's first real game, and just a lot of people the tickets were all sold, but people didn't get their tickets to folks. And I think there's been an emphasis on that this week to get out here and get your tickets used, or put them on SeatGeek and sell them, or get them to a neighbor or a friend that will use them. And so that's been real. I think that's been a positive. There's a little bit more of a buzz in the air, although we lost against Baylor. And I think that there'll be a good crowd and a good energy in here. We're going to have to play well. Troy's not going to lay down. I remember when Troy came in here in 2002 and beat the Razorbacks. Stan Heath was coaching the Razorbacks, and they came in here and won. Now, generally, we've beaten Troy. I think we're 5-1 all time against them, but it's an opponent that if you don't, they're going to have a couple decent athletes, and they're going to have some guys that are going to play hard. And if you fall asleep or you're not motivated, you're going to be in for a dogfight.
Coach, we'll let you get to practice. Thank you for your time today.
You are welcome. They're going in to watch a little film, so I'm going to sit here and visit with Coach. And before we go, I think that the 4 home games in a row, these four games coming up that are not home games, that this is going to be a good opportunity for these guys to pull together, have some good wins, feel good, get after some opponents, and get kind of rolling before you head to Kansas City to play Illinois.
All right. We're going to hold you to it. We'll hold you to the fire.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week. Thanks for calling.
Thanks, Coach. Matt Zimmerman with us on Out of Bounds. Arkansas and Troy tomorrow night, 7 o'clock start. And like I said earlier, according to Bet Saracen, Arkansas is a 13.5-point favorite. It went up to 16, I believe it was, for the first game against Lipscomb. Got after Troy, Pacific on next Monday, then the Little Rock Trojans a week from Friday, and then Maryland East Shore on Monday, November 25th. And then, of course, they'll play Illinois and Kansas City on Thanksgiving Day. So, yeah, a chance to do a little, like Coach said, get a little confidence going, get on a little bit of a roll with these 4 games. Then you got Miami. That'll be a tough game at Miami in Coral Gables. Then you still got the Jimmy V Classic with Michigan coming up. I hadn't paid attention to Michigan.
Games.
I'm sure they're all right. All right, well, let's take a break. When we come back, we can take some calls. We can talk basketball, football, 661-1037. Still to come on the show, Jeff Purinton will join us, the athletic director of the Arkansas State Red Wolves. Tonight, it's Little Rock and A-State. Men's basketball in Jonesboro. Should be a fun environment. Josh Berrien with Fox 16's headed up there. We're going to be live at 5:30 and 6:30 and have the game covered for you tonight on Fox 16. Be a fun game. All right, stick around. It's Out of Bounds.
Tuesday, Justin and DJ are taking the zone to Arkadelphia and Ouachita Baptist University for the OBU Sports Media Conference presented by Barry & Turnage Law Firm.
This is Sports Center.
The Arkansas basketball program landed the #1 shooting guard in the country last night in overtime elite product Malik Thomas. The Pittsburgh native chose Arkansas over UConn and hometown Pittsburgh. He is the second 5-star recruit of the 2025 class so far, joining Darius Acuff Jr., who's the #1 point guard in the class and a top 10 player overall. Going off the 24/7 composite score, Thomas is the third highest recruit of the ratings era in Razorback basketball history behind Nick Smith Jr. and Al Jefferson, who went straight to the NBA. In other Arkansas basketball news, the Razorbacks fell to 18th in the country following the loss to Baylor on Saturday. And in college basketball tonight, Arkansas State will host Little Rock at 7. It can be watched on ESPN+. Radio coverage will be on 106.7 Buzz, too. I'm Christian Weaver with the Buzz Radio Network.
Abe Lincoln, Duck Dynasty, and Chuck Norris. Do you have what it takes to join these bearded greats? Join the Arkansas Urology Foundation for the 4th annual Beard Bracket Challenge, presented by First Horizon Bank, as you put down your razors and put your facial hair to the test. No Shave November helps bring awareness to men's health issues, from prostate cancer to sleep conditions, mental health, and everything in between. Guys, put down your razors and submit your bearded photos to arkansasurology.com between now and December 6th for your chance to win a 70-inch flat screen TV in the 4th annual Beard Bracket Challenge, presented by First Horizon Bank and the Arkansas Urology Foundation.
Darren McFadden is back for another season of college football with the guys from Morning Mayhem. DMAC is known as the best running back in Razorback history. Darren McFadden is presented by Fortify Building Solutions. Need a new metal roof, wall, or building products? Go see our friends at Fortify Building Solutions in Benton or at fortifybuildingsolutions.com.
There's no better place to catch the game than Brewski's, with 2 locations, downtown and north, each decked out with their massive Brewskatron projection screens. Watch every game that matters live with the sound on and the best game day atmosphere in the state. Catch every thrilling moment on so many TVs that every seat feels like it's on the first row. Brewski's, downtown and north, your home for college football bowl games and college basketball.
Hi, it's Frank Fletcher from the Fletcher Dodge store here in Sherwood. Folks, if you're shopping for a new car or truck, I hope you'll come see us and give us a chance to earn your business. We have huge discounts, 0% financing available, and we'll give you $1,000 over Kelly Blue Book value for your trade-in. Folks, I guarantee you a hassle-free buying experience. And if you've had credit problems in the past, listen to this. We have an easy pre-approval process. Just go to FletcherCredit.com to get started. You can be pre-approved in minutes. It's really not hard. FletcherCredit.com. Folks, we're also still buying cars every day. If you got an old car or truck you want to turn into cash, bring it to Fletcher Dodge in Sherwood and ask for Chris or Andy. Shop Fletcher Dodge in Sherwood before you buy anywhere else. Shop in person or shop online at FletcherDeals.com. Thank you.
Black Friday, Brown Friday, Blue Friday, Floral Friday, doesn't matter. It's all priced just right at Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor, where comfort meets style. No matter what color it is, through December 2nd, save up to 50% on select items, 35% on sectionals, plus 30% off store-wide. The color choice and style are all yours. Shop extended hours to outfit any room in your home at Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor, Shackelford Galleries of Little Rock. Long live the lazy.
Hey, what a show today, my gosh.
Absolutely it was.
Tomorrow, big one, too. Got Trey Reed.
Yeah, Walt Coleman.
Rick Schaefer.
And Craig O'Neill.
Oh, my gosh, we can just stop there.
Then do it.
And Roger Scott.
Well, you should have stopped.
Out of Bounds on 103.7 The Buzz. Live from the Gwatney Chevrolet studio. Gwatney Chevrolet. Driving, trust every mile.
Welcome back. It is Out of Bounds. I'm Wes Moore, Joe Franklin. Great Tuesday. During the Razor Hog update, I forgot to tell everybody about Malik Thomas. Coach Calipari and the Razorbacks get another 5-star player. Malik Thomas, a guard out of the Pittsburgh area, chose Arkansas over Pitt, UConn, also visited Auburn, had offers from just about everybody. Big-time get. Number 9 recruit in the country, according to one service. Another service has him at number 7 in the country. Put him and Acuff together. It's a great tandem, great 1-2 punch right there for the 2025 class. And I saw Richard Davenport tweeting out that they're going to host another 5-star player, this one a forward, this weekend. He'll be in town, go to the Texas game. Coach Cal and his staff still at it. It's pretty cool just to see Arkansas getting one of the top players in the country and adding Malik Thomas to Acuff, and then to get another top 10 guy coming for a visit this weekend. But it's something we'll get used to, I'm sure, over time, and I'm sure at some point we'll take it for granted that he's got all these 5 stars coming and McDonald's All-Americans, just kind of like the Kentucky fans. They took it for granted and, got upset because there wasn't enough winning. But for a place that hasn't had a lot of that over the years, it's still neat to see one of the top players commit to Arkansas.
Right, and winning will make that continue on. So as long as you put a good product on the court, and we know what Coach Cal is when it comes to relations and how he communicates with people, and that's why he is such a good recruiter. So that's part of it, just getting the players in here, and you go from there.
Yeah, and the success of putting guys in the league. That's a big part of it, too. They want to all play in the NBA. From the 501 on the D3 Auto Sales text line, Billy Richmond has that dog in him. I love seeing his intensity against Baylor. Yeah, Richmond's another one of those guys that I feel like being young, he's only going to get better as the year goes along, and he's going to add more and more to this team, too. And he can shoot it. He's got a nice little touch. His game's more driving to the basket, but he can stop and pop it. I'm fine with him shooting the ball. Yesterday, we played some of Coach Pittman's sound during the press conference, but he was asked, and we've talked about it a little bit on the show about how bad his hip is right now. When I saw him at the Parkview game, he was standing on the sideline, and after a while, he had to leave the sideline and go sit on the front row just to, take some pressure off of that hip. And so yesterday he was asked about it. About getting the hip surgery, and he said he's going to wait until after the Missouri game and get it done, and then he'll be able to go to the bowl game and coach there. The reason he didn't do it earlier in the season, it was so bad. I was told he was going to get it done after one of the games. I can't remember which game it was, but they told him he would not be able to be on the sideline the next week, maybe the next 2 weeks, and he didn't want that. He wanted to be down on the sideline, so he delayed the surgery until after the Missouri game. Joe, I was appalled to the point, sickened, the reaction it was getting from some of the fans. And these are the Pittman haters that are looking for any reason that he needs to be fired or to retire. And they were using this hip surgery as a reason why he needs to be let go, a reason he needs to walk away, that he's not able to recruit during a pivotal time because he's going to be having hip surgery. I'm like, first of all, that was addressed during the press conference, that was right at the beginning of the transfer portal opening up, and he knows how important that is, so that's why he's going to do it as soon as the Missouri's game's over so that he can be back and be ready to roll during the portal time and during recruiting, because that's right leading up to the early signing period. But it just really it's not eye-opening because I know it's out there, but to see the people that were jumping on a coach having hip surgery as a reason, another reason why you need to fire him.
Yeah, that shouldn't.
Or he needs to retire. That's why I stay off of Twitter, off of the random tweets. Twitter I use as a source of information. I follow a bunch of reporters, a bunch of coaches, just people where I can get information. I don't follow just normal people because of that's why, like Facebook, I never go to Facebook. The stuff that I hear about on Facebook drive you up the wall. I mean, it's terrible. But I think he's done. He made the sacrifice of not having the surgery during the season so that he wouldn't be stuck in the press box. And so he has been walking around bone on bone in pain, waiting for the season to end so he can be with the team. If anything, you should applaud the guy for doing that. And if you've been around him at all and see the pain that he's in, next time you watch a press conference, just watch him sitting, fidgeting, trying to get comfortable. He's moving constantly because, as he said, you can't get comfortable. You just got to find the spot that gives you the least amount of pain, the least amount of discomfort.
Yeah, timing is everything, and it's good that he did find the right time to where he felt most comfortable to be able to do that, and not that it was going to be during the season. But that's even an interesting time, and also that would he actually be ready if they do go to a bowl game with the time in between? Because that time in between is going to be spent on getting back up to speed, rehabbing.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that, when you give it more time, the possibility does open up even more for him to be on the sideline. But still, that stuff takes time. When you come back from a surgery, it takes time to just be able to get back to a point where he's walking and feeling comfortable. So the timing and all of it is interesting.
Well, I was told when he initially thought about having the surgery after one of the games, they told him he would be out off the sideline the next week and possibly the next week. So in this scenario, if he does it right after Missouri, you got basically a month before you're playing in a game. So he should be fine and be able to be on the sideline for a football game. And as far as getting back and walking around, you do that pretty quickly with the hip surgery.
Oh, they wanted it immediately.
Yeah.
They want to get you up
want
and
you
walking,
up in that rehab.
just to kind
Yep.
of work some things out.
Let's go over to the D3 Auto Sales text line. Savage, Wes, thoughts on Kentucky and Duke tonight? Oh, man, I want to watch that. That'll be fun. It's funny to see the anytime you see a Razorback tweet, the Duke fans get into the mentions. And
Kentucky fans.
The Kentucky fans, thank you, Joe, get into the mentions, and they think Pope has hung the moon, and they had the big 40-point win.
Well, that's why they brought him in, though, because he played at Kentucky. So that's what would give the fans a sense of comfortability, because they shot for Dan Hurley, and they went to the top, and they couldn't get those types of coaches. So now when
Drew
you get down
Baylor.
the list, you bring somebody that has those connections.
Yeah, I'm intrigued by the game tonight. I want to see what Kentucky does. If they can hang with Duke, beat Duke, just get a good scout on a SEC team early in the season.
And your chance to see Cooper Flagg.
Yes. From the 501, Wes, I'm very much intrigued in watching how Coach Cal at Arkansas and Coach Pope at Kentucky develop their respective teams throughout the regular season into the big dance in March. I would love to see that matchup come tournament time. Yeah, wouldn't that be great? An SEC tournament, a little Arkansas-Kentucky action? That would be a lot of fun. 501 says, Trey Biddy says, unless something crazy happens, Sam will be the coach next year. Something crazy like what? Big NIL donors not investing? No, that's already happening. I would say something crazy like losing out, and something crazy like a big donor stepping up saying, hey, here's the money, pay him off, go hire a new coach. That's what it would, to me, is something crazy.
That's something that could happen just based on what happens.
Yes. Even if they happen to lose out and you don't have the money coming in to pay him off and to pay the next head coach.
Oh, if they lost out, they find the money. They find it. That would happen.
not only the money to pay him, but pay the money for the next head coach.
They find it.
And to put together an NIL package that's very attractive to that next head coach.
Because at this point in the season, you have 5 wins, and you do have a non-conference game that's left on the schedule.
Yeah.
So losing out is not something that's going to be good.
John in Tucker says it's going to take at least 6 to 8 weeks before he can get around on his hip, especially considering his weight. He's lost a lot of weight. And, even when I saw him at Parkview a couple weeks ago, I noticed he'd lost even more. And that's probably the doctor, the hip, the surgeon telling him, dude, the more you lose, the better off you're going to be, not only for your health overall, but for when you get the hip surgery. It's going to make it better and easier for you after that surgery, the less weight you're carrying around. But, yeah, no, it's a lengthy process before you're back 100% normal. We're not suggesting he's going to be normal by the time the bowl gets around, but he will be able to be coaching and be on the sideline and be with the players. That's why they have put it off until this point. All right, we got to take a break. When we come back, we can look at last night's NFL game. Dolphins get it done on the road.
They've shown that since Tua's been back in the lineup, what they're capable of, and that they can win those games. The past 2 games, they came up short, though, with him in the lineup.
They're a good team with him in the lineup. And now they're just all kind of filling each other out again.
Problem is that there are only so many games left, so
3-6, that's 9, got 8 to go.
Yeah, they need to go on a run if they're going to make some things happen.
7-1?
Oh, 7-1, yeah, put them in a good position.
Talk about that when we come back. Stick around. It's Out of Bounds.
Honda of North Little Rock is under new ownership. You owe it to yourself to come see the newly remodeled showroom, as it's overflowing with new and used inventory of Honda and Yamaha ATVs and motorcycles. Don't miss out on the great deals. Meet the new owners and GM, Al Hanmaker. That's Honda of North Little Rock, 4524 MacArthur Drive.
An evening with Larry the Cable Guy.
It's a cool anniversary for me tonight. This is my 27th year in the comedy business, and it's my 5th year being funny, so I'm excited about both of them, all right?
Friday, January 17th, Oaklawn Event Center in Hot Springs. On sale now at oaklawn.com.
Get her done.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
This November, hold the cranberry sauce and pass the savings instead, because Gwatney Buick GMC in North Little Rock is offering Black Friday savings all month long. Call 501-945-4444. Brand new Buick Encore GX starting at just $21,900, plus available 0.9%. Gwatney Buick GMC is not making you wait. The deals are here now. New Hummer SUVs, $10,000 off MSRP. Do your holiday travels in a new Yukon XL with $10,500 off MSRP. Get new Sierras with 0% interest. No payments on anything until next year. These deals couldn't get any better if they were covered in gravy. It's Black Friday all month long at Gwatney Buick GMC, 5700 Landers Road in North Little Rock. Call 501-945-4444. GwatneyBuickGMC.com. GMC, we are professional grade. Stock number 30096, 0242, 30508. All offers with approved credit.
Pickup truck, sports car, motorcycle, minivan, townhouse, 2-story, farmhouse, fixer-upper. What you drive and where you live is different for everyone, so it's important to have insurance that fits your needs and is just right for you. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that, which is why our agents help you design a comprehensive auto, home, and life insurance plan. Insurance that fits just right.
See Shelter Agent Drew Self in Hot Springs, Todd Matthews in Benton, or Alex Blake in Little Rock today.
The colder temperatures are starting to come back, and what's that mean? Well, if you've got achy joints, everything's going to start to hurt again. Hey, everybody, it's RJ Hawk. Are you tired of knee pain, back pain, hip pain, all because of arthritis? Well, what if I told you there was a fix? What if I told you could use your own body's healing properties to treat the root cause of your arthritic pain? QC Kinetics can get you there. The protocols developed by QC Kinetics are life-changing that so many people around Central Arkansas are making that free consultation call to find out more about how they can live pain-free. Yes, you can have real lasting relief from chronic joint pain without drugs, without surgery, and without downtime. Stop what you're doing right now. Pick up the phone and call 501-222-8440. Discover your options with advanced regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics. The consultation is absolutely free, so what are you waiting on? Call 501-222-8440. That's 501-222-8440.
Fellas, are you dealing with low energy? Do you not have the same pep in your step that you used to have? It could be low testosterone. Testosterone replacement therapy, or TRT, is the answer. But guys, we have different T levels, man. We're not all the same. Don't go for TRT with a standard dosage plan. Ask. There is a difference. Look for TRT with an optimized personal treatment plan. That's what you'll get with the experts at Low T Center. They provide advanced therapy and have over a decade of experience to back it all up. Go to lowtcenter.com to book your appointment online. That's lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Listen each week for the Drive Time Sports Keys to Victory, presented by Arkansas Municipal Equipment and Pond, specializing in refuse and recycle equipment with years of experience serving Arkansas. Get the keys to Razorback victory according to Randy Rainwater each week on 103.7 The Buzz.
Out of Bounds, live from the Gwatney Chevrolet studio.
A toss, and on the run into the end zone, diving Malik Washington for the touchdown. What a drive. Chewy keeps, fires, touchdown Miami, Tyreek Hill.
Dolphins go on the road, beat the Rams 23-15. Monday Night Football. Tua's back. Are the Dolphins back? 3-6.
They can be.
Easiest remaining schedule in the NFL.
Yeah, okay. They're
all just telling you what the teams they have left.
Yeah. I mean, it still can be difficult because there are games that they've lost this season where they've had a lead and they should have won those games, but they weren't able to finish it. So, yeah, they have it. They just have to. Now it's about they can't look ahead on the schedule and say this is what we have to do.
Mm-hmm.
They just have to go try to win each game.
Got to win the next one.
Continue on like that. Now, what made last night's game interesting was Coach McVay and Coach McDaniel and how far they go back in coaching circles and how well they know each other. And so that's why going into it was kind of difficult to say which team you thought was going to win that game. Just because they know each other so well, they have similar concepts. And both teams, the Rams have been playing well recently, and Dolphins not playing so well, but the Dolphins were close. And just didn't know going in.
You know, I guess the most impressed by was the Dolphins' defense. They got after Stafford last night. Had sacks, pressures. They made it.
Campbell was big.
Yeah, the other guy with the tip passes, and I mean they got after Stafford and didn't give him time to sit in the pocket and find his guys. That was good to see out of the Dolphins. You know, I said they had the easiest schedule remaining, and then look, it's not like it's a bunch of cupcakes that are left. They still have to go to Green Bay. They got to go to Houston. They host the 49ers.
That doesn't sound easy at all.
It's just the easiest compared to everybody else in the NFL. That's what's left, but nobody's going to have with. I mean, we say they got 9 games left.
Dolphins have
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, nobody's going to have like 8 games against teams that are in the last place or next to last place. You're still going to have to play some tough games. That's why their back is up against the wall. They probably need to go 7-1 down the stretch, and that means they'll have to not only take care of business against some of the teams that I didn't. The Raiders are next, the Patriots. They get the Jets twice. They get Cleveland, games that they feel like they should win. Well, you still got to go out and do it, kind of to Joe's point. Did you hear about the state of Florida?
Yes. Yeah, Dolphins saved them because they were going to be winless throughout the entire weekend in college on every level and then NFL.
FCS, FBS, NFL teams on Sunday. 0-9. The state of Florida was 0-9.
But it was more like 0-11.
0-11?
Yeah.
Maybe I caught it late, and then the NFL teams made it. But, yeah, they were the entire state of Florida had gone winless, and Miami saved them last night.
It's crazy to think of that.
And another underdog won last night, Joe. I looked it up because I was thinking, man, that seems like that's a bunch of underdogs. 11-3. Underdogs in the NFL went 11-3 this weekend. The only favorites to cover, Philadelphia. Of course, they covered big time over the Cowboys. The Chargers and Buffalo Bills, off the top of my head, were the only three favorites to win. And sometimes there's a bad tendency with the bettors out there to go with the favorites because they're the better team and they should win and they should cover.
Right.
And
so
that's
that
why
does make for a good week for
the casinos.
Yes, and Bet Saracen. They had a good week.
There was a play last night where Tua threw an interception and he goes to make a tackle. And they pointed it out if you were watching the game. He goes in to make the tackle and puts his head down right around the guy's knees. And you're like, dude, what
They've shown quarterbacks in the past that will throw an interception and just get out of the way, like get out of everybody's way. It's almost like what they would do at PA when the team would punt to them and they just run off the field. That's what they are suggesting to many quarterbacks at times, and that's what they've said about Tua. If Tua throws a pick, he needs to just get out of everybody's way.
And it's not only trying to make the tackle and getting hurt, it's getting blocked because once you throw an interception, that quarterback's now free game.
I think they've kind of put in some restrictions from that regard where players aren't getting hit like they once did. So there's a lot of player safety that goes into that.
Here is Tua.
I feel good. Everything's good. I went up to that dude that intercepted me and asked him, like, bro, you couldn't just like ran out of bounds or like cut back. It was like you seen me and I seen you. Like you wanted to just run me over. He told me after the game he's like there's no room there, like there was nowhere else to go. So he got to do what he got to do to help his team win games, and I wasn't planning on using my head to go hit him.
So your shoulders down there, but I guess his leg kind of did kick like the side of your head. You never felt any other effects from it?
Nah, I didn't feel any of that. That was pretty bad tackling for him, though. That was pretty terrible.
I'll give him that. It was. All right, coming up in the third hour, we got What's Trending. And Jeff Purinton, the athletic director of the Arkansas State Red Wolves, will join us. Little Rock heading up to Jonesboro today. Men's basketball game tonight. Talk a little hoops with him. Talk about his football team. Stick around. Hour number 3 is coming up. This is Out of Bounds.
This month at Gwatney Chevrolet, you could be eligible to make no payments for 90 days. That's right, qualified buyers don't pay on new purchases at Gwatney Chevrolet until 2025. If you're in the market for a new Chevy car, truck, or SUV, now is the perfect time to buy. It could be yours with no payments until next year. Want to find out if you qualify? Give Gwatney Chevrolet a call at 501-982-2102 or come see us at 1301 TP White Drive in Jacksonville. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
Serious injuries happen every day. If it happens to you, don't wait. Dial 8. Dial 8 for Rainwater Holton Sexton. 888-8888. Anywhere in the state, dial 8. We've got you covered, Arkansas.
Responsible attorneys Michael Rainwater and Bob Sexton. Tune in to 103.7 The Buzz every Tuesday night at 8 for Between the Mats high school football show with your hosts, Matt Wilcox and Matt McJunkins. You'll hear coaches' interviews, player interviews. You'll also get weekly top 10s and player of the week picks for each classification every week. Plus, t-shirt giveaways and fan interactive pick'em challenges with prizes. Between the Mats on The Buzz each Tuesday is brought to you by Hooten's Football, your number one source for Arkansas high school football.
1037 The Buzz.
You know how I am. You guys know how I am. I don't forget anything.
Crushing all the competition.
So you can take that to the bank.
Buzz News with KARK's Claire Kreitz.
A rule change in the state Senate chamber is resulting in heavy pushback from the minority party. Senate Republicans voted to block any members of the minority party from being able to vice chair a committee. That role becomes important when the chair is not present, leaving it up to the vice chair to head a committee meeting. Democratic leaders are calling the move petty and say it just weakens an already weak minority. But Republicans maintain this reflects the will of voters. Arkansas Children's Research Institute is looking into why kids in Arkansas struggle with asthma more than kids in other parts of the country. Arkansas Children's Research Institute is getting a 4-year grant worth $662,000 from the National Institutes of Health. Doctors will be researching factors like home environment, access to health care, and healthcare quality to determine how providers can better help kids in Arkansas. This is Claire Kreitz for the Buzz Radio Network.
Join the Zone Thursday at Lumber One Design One on Colonel Glenn Road. Whether it's a small DIY project or a brand new build, Lumber One Design One is your one-stop destination.
Weather from the Fletcher Weather Center. Buzz Weather with KARK's Pat Walker.
A sunny sky this afternoon with a high of 69 degrees and an east-northeast wind of 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, mostly clear, kind of chilly, down to 51 degrees. Tomorrow, becoming mostly cloudy with a high of 70 and a 30% chance of showers in the afternoon. For the Buzz Radio Network, I'm meteorologist Pat
Fletcher Dodge wants to buy your car. We'll buy any make or model, and we'll pay you more than anyone else. Please, turn your old car into cash at Fletcher Dodge in Sherwood.
This is Trey Schapp. Tune in each Friday morning at 5:30 right here on The Buzz as I bring you From the Shortgrass, presented by UAMS Health, Orthopedics, and Sports Medicine. If you like to hear interesting stories about the game of golf, this is for you. You can also find it wherever you get your podcasts.
Don't you love the sounds of the holiday season? The bells, the sleighs. Woohoo! If so, your holiday's now even more magical because now during the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event, you can take home your favorite Hyundai with some of the season's greatest savings.
Drive away now in one of our most popular models with 0% APR and 0 payments for 90 days. Only during the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Offer ends January 2nd. Call 562-314-4603 for details.
The king of Arkansas sports talk, Randy Rainwater for Bet Saracen.
There's big news in the mobile sports betting business. Bet Saracen was just named the 15th largest sports book in America. That's because our Kansans like to do business with a winner. Find all your winners on Bet Saracen. Download it today and look for my RR prop bet specials. I pick them, you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Thanksgiving is almost here, which means it's time to start thinking about your holiday plans. This year, save time along with the worry and hassle and let the team at Edwards Food Giant do it for you. Their turkey dinner includes the turkey as well as their signature cornbread dressing, giblet gravy, cranberry sauce, and dinner rolls. All fully cooked, homemade, and ready for you to heat and serve to your family. If that's not enough, their deluxe turkey dinner also includes sweet potato casserole, green beans, and apple pie. Now that's what I call a Thanksgiving spread. Click on edwardsfoodgiant.com to view their full menus and find out how to order your dinner.
This is Chris Roberts with Southern Bank. Southern Bank is a 137-year-old community bank with branches across Arkansas founded on strength and stability. Real community-style banking, local decisions, and friendly staff you know by name, all coupled with competitive deposit and loan rates. From small to large projects, we can handle it all. So what's holding you back? Give us a call at 501-424-0900 or check out our website at bankwithsouthern.com to learn how you can experience the Southern Bank difference today. Member FDIC.
The holidays were made for memories. This season, make yours sophisticated and stylish with the purchase of a new Cadillac. Whether it's the all-electric Cadillac Lyriq, the redefining Cadillac XT5 and XT6, or the performance in the CT5. Be iconic this winter and make your journey getting there just as exceptional as being there. Visit your Cadillac showroom today for the season's best sales event.
Listen to Out of Bounds every day to hear about what's trending on social media and whether listeners agree or disagree. Engaging conversations about engaging topics. Sponsored by Arkansas-based West Rock Coffee. Join West Rock and their 1.5 million coffee farmers around the globe as they fuel Arkansans with great tasting coffee, tea, and water delivered directly to your business. Contact them at westrockcoffee.com or 833-886-JAVA. That's 833-886-5282. Call today.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMSS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMSS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
Live from the Gwatney Chevrolet Studios, this is Out of Bounds with Joe Franklin and Wes Moore on 103.7 The Buzz.
Welcome back. It is Out of Bounds, hour number 3. I forgot. I was going to talk about this earlier, Joe. You remember last week? Yeah, it was last week, or maybe it was Monday. I can't remember when it was. We were talking about Michael Smith, the former Razorback running back.
Yes.
Tore the hamstring off of his bone, and it rolled up into his buttocks, and big old ball. We were talking about Dak's injury. I was talking with a buddy today. Do you know Michael Smith's sister is married to Steve Sarkisian?
No.
L'Oreal Smith is Michael Smith's sister.
Wow.
Yes. So they said Michael's going to be at the game with his sister, and I was like, well, he's rooting for Arkansas, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's a Razorback.
Is he going to have on a split jersey?
Who's he sitting with? Where's his tickets coming from?
Yeah, he may be sitting with the family.
I bet he is. I mean, I'll try to call Michael, text him, see if we can't get him on the show. I had no idea, and they sent me the picture, and I was like, oh, my gosh. Yeah, his sister's married to Steve Sarkisian. Crazy.
Yeah, that's something.
Other Texas news? Out of the blue, one of my best friend from college, makes me feel old, just texted me a couple of snapshots, couple of pictures from Twitter. His son just committed to the University of Texas A&M to play baseball. He's a part of the 2026 class, so he's a junior. And I knew he was a good baseball player. I didn't know how good, if he was going to be an SEC guy or Big 12, what level. And just committed to to the Aggies, which is cool for them. His dad and mom went to Texas A&M. And they've been going to A&M games his whole life. So he grew up an Aggie fan, and he's gone to camps at A&M and different places around the Houston area. He plays at Tomball. They won a state championship. But he's a legit big-time player, obviously, if A&M is accepting his commitment. But just sent me the news. So that'll be kind of cool. A couple of years, go watch the Arkansas and Texas A&M. Hopefully the Razorbacks can send him home packing with a loss. But pretty cool to see this little kid from years ago now in high school, and is a top baseball prospect and getting a scholarship offer from Texas A&M.
Just shows how time flies.
Oh, my gosh. I'm like, God, he's that old to be going to college? And then I think, well, I've already got one in college, you dummy. Yeah, we're that old. All right, let's move on and talk a little NFL real quick.
What's Trending in Sports is brought to you by Arkansas's own West Rock Coffee. Join West Rock Coffee, the Razorbacks, and their 1.5 million farmers around the globe. It's fall, so now it's time for your team to stock up on coffee, tea, and water delivered directly to your business. Contact them at westrockcoffee.com or 833-886-JAVA today.
All right, let's finish up on the Dolphins. They win last night. Tyreek Hill caught a touchdown, first one since the first week of the season.
And he's been dealing with an injury.
Wrist injury.
They were unsure if he was going to play last night. And then during pregame, you see him on the field working out. You're like, there's no way this guy's not playing.
He's good to go. Here's Mike McDaniel.
He's a warrior. He's a captain of this team, and as good as it gets in this league that's full of star players. So it didn't necessarily surprise his teammates, I don't think, based upon his relationship with them and what he means to the team. So it was you don't know how a person's body is going to respond, but all things equal, Tyreek Hill wills himself to do things that most competitors can't match. So it's one of the reasons that he's great.
Chicago Bears have been struggling, and the Chicago Bears make a move today. They fired their offensive coordinator. Acree, we were laughing during the tease. They promoted the former Carolina Panthers offensive coordinator. He's now going to be calling the plays for them. He was fired from Carolina after they started 0-6 last year.
Well, so was Shane Waldron. He was let go from a different organization.
Here's Matt Eberflus.
Will Shane remain on the staff this week?
Like I said, the process of that, we're going through that right now. And all those adjustments and changes and things that we're going to do, we're still in the evaluation phase of that.
So that was him asked prior to making the change. But, of course, when you get an answer like that, it kind of clues you in as to what's going to happen next. Because he was very just non-committal and just didn't really give an answer there.
So I set it up wrong. Should have played it and then told everybody he's been fired. I thought this was a question after if he was going to stay on staff, like in some kind of role as an offensive assistant or something. You're gone. Let's go to Sean McDermott. Amari Cooper didn't play. I told you my saving bet over the weekend was Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, and Brock Purdy all to throw for more than 250 yards Sunday. It was plus at like 850 on Bet Saracen. And I made it. I was feeling pretty good about it, and I saw Amari Cooper not playing for Buffalo, and I'm like, well, that's not good.
Khalil Shakir has been good for Bills this year.
And then during the game, they're tied in. Kincaid?
Yeah, Kincaid when he was in college, they threw the ball at him almost every play. And especially on third down, when they needed a play, they needed to pick up a first down. So you knew when he got there that would be another option for Josh Allen.
But he got hurt. Left the game. Kincaid did. I was like, oh, my God, I'm not going to get it because of the injuries.
Then it becomes Dalton Knox and running backs, James Cook.
They did throw it to the running back a lot. Here is McDermott on Amari Cooper.
With Amari, we've seen him be out there on the practice field, limited capacity. We understand that's different than a game. What is the next step that he needs to take to go from the limited practice capacity to actually playing in games once again?
Yeah, if I knew, I think some of it's pain tolerance and threshold, and so we'll just see. I don't know the medical terms that you're looking for there, John, and I just get my cues from Nate, and we go from there.
Is he saying Amari Cooper has a low tolerance for pain? He can't play through pain?
There may be something to that.
Suck it up! Let's go to the Colts, Indianapolis, Anthony Richardson. What's the plan now? Because we heard yesterday that Flacco's going to start again.
Yes, he is going to start. But this was Shane Steichen asked about Colts struggling in short yardage situations and what does Anthony Richardson do well. So he was questioned as to, is there any thought into putting Anthony Richardson in at that point?
You guys have struggled in short yardage with Joe. Is there a thought to put Anthony in there? What has kept you from using Anthony in a short yardage package?
Yeah, I won't get into the scheme stuff of it, but yeah, obviously he would help there.
So once again, not giving anything away. And then this next clip, this is Kevin O'Connell talking to Anthony Richardson last week after Vikings-Colts game. Mm-hmm. Just a really cool moment where he pulled him aside and had some words for him.
Hey,
do me a favor and remember something.
Okay.
You're a bad dude.
Yes, sir.
And you're going to play a long time in this league.
For sure.
All right? Go to work every day. Good things will happen for you. I still believe in you. I know these guys too. Shane does too.
Yes, sir.
And this organization loves you. Go
Yes,
to work.
sir. Appreciate
okay?
that. Yes, sir.
Yeah, always, sir. All love,
Appreciate
man.
it.
And when you become a free agent, don't forget about me.
Oh, coaches do that all the time when they develop relationships with these players and they look for them after the game.
Mm-hmm.
That's the seed that they're planting.
Don't forget about us. We may be calling one day. That's why you never trash a recruit that goes somewhere else.
Oh,
he may end up coming back one day.
Yeah, especially right now.
Let's go to Bill Belichick, the next head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. Here he is sitting and
Or
talking.
is it Coach Prime? Which one? Coach Prime with Shador coupled in there.
What are you going to do with Dak? Somebody's stopped me this morning.
For Dak.
You think and take the $60 million?
Absolutely. Kirk Cousins came off a major injury this past season and got signed as a free agent. So there'd be a team that'd be willing to trade for Dak. There would be at least one and probably multiple teams.
You got my attention now, Joe. I'm kind of listening. I'm intrigued by this.
Not saying that would happen, but that's something that's on the table. And it has been talked about as far as Coach Prime, Shador Sanders. Now, he's always said that he's not going to follow his kids, but that's a unique relationship in itself. The one that he already has with Jerry playing for Cowboys. They live in the Dallas area.
Yeah.
So it would be a unique situation.
In my mind, I have the Cowboys stuck with Dak because of that contract.
But that's a way to get out of the contract. Now, dead cap money and those things, it's a whole different ball game.
But if he had a rookie quarterback, that would help offset some of that dead money. All right, anyway, sorry, got distracted. Bill Belichick, Jim Gray talking about the Chiefs.
What's that it thing that allows something like that to happen that is so out of the ordinary to win a game?
Good players. Good players. And obviously you need a balanced team that everybody contributes, offense, defense, special teams. You don't know what it's going to be. And Kansas City's done it in every area. They've held on fourth down. They've scored at the end of the game. They've blocked kicks. They've returned kicks. And they've done it through the years. So they have a really good staff, really experienced staff with Nagy, Taub, and, of course, Spags and Andy. And so they have a lot of experience there on the coaching staff, players that play together for quite a while, and they have a great sense of what the key moment in the game is, and they give their best. They do the right thing, and it certainly worked out for them. So there's no such thing as winning ugly in the NFL. It's hard to win in the NFL. Every win's a good win, and you got to give those guys a lot of credit. They find a different way every week, but they find a way.
This week in the SEC, of course, you got Texas, Arkansas. That's the 11 o'clock game. You have LSU, Florida. That's the 2:30 game on ABC. The night game, Tennessee, Georgia. Then a couple non-conference games with Louisiana Monroe at Auburn, New Mexico State at Texas A&M. And then you got Missouri at South Carolina. Intriguing game. South Carolina's been playing very well here of late. They went to Vanderbilt and took care of business, winning by 3 touchdowns. The week before that, South Carolina knocked off A&M. That's right.
And they've come up short in some games that they probably should have won.
Should have won.
So their season could look a lot different than what it looks had they won at least one of those games.
Yeah, 6-3. LSU's the one that jumps out. Should have won that game.
Well, Bama
had a chance.
They could have kicked a field goal to beat Bama at the end of the game.
Anyway, so Missouri plays South Carolina. Here is Missouri head coach Eli Drinkwitz on the SEC and 10-win teams in the SEC.
Any team in the SEC that finishes with 10 wins on their season should be in the playoffs. I don't think there's really any doubt in my mind about that. So I don't know how many are going to get there because there's a lot of games left to be played. But it feels like every game we play in the SEC is a playoff game. There was a comment by a couple of coaches in our group chat about, the SEC added Texas and Oklahoma, which are 2 of the premier teams in college football that win Big 12 championships. I think Oklahoma's got the most conference championships in college football, and they're just an unbelievable traditional program. And some of these other conferences added Group of 5 schools. And so when you talk about strength of program, strength of conference, top to bottom, I don't think there's any doubt top to bottom, and I know this will really upset Danny Cannell because he's not a huge SEC defender, but top to bottom, when you add OU and Texas to our league and you add Vanderbilt as a bowl team right now, I don't think top to bottom there's any other conference that can even touch us. And I know this will really upset Danny's playoff take, but that's my personal opinion. I mean, we're going to go play a South Carolina team that's got more NFL potential on defense than just about anybody we've played outside of Oklahoma Oklahoma and Alabama. And so it's a challenge.
You know what he's doing there, right?
He's setting it up in case Missouri's in that position.
Yes, he is. Because right now, if Missouri wins out, they would be 10-2 with their best win being South Carolina this week. You look at their schedule, that's why I pulled up. Murray State, Buffalo, Boston College. Boston College was ranked number 24 at the time, but now Boston College is 5-4. They're not ranked. Vanderbilt, they lost to A&M. They beat UMass, beat Auburn, lost to Alabama 34-0, by the way, and they lost A&M 41-10. Beat Oklahoma this past weekend, and they have South Carolina, Mississippi State, and Arkansas left. So if they win out, first of all, if they beat South Carolina's not going to be ranked anymore.
Yeah, but it shows that that's a tough opponent. No matter how you feel about them with the rankings, whatever the case, when you look at what South Carolina has done this season, that becomes a quality win.
But when they have the final show and the final release rankings and they're making a case for South Carolina, the person that's going to be
Missouri.
For Missouri, thank you. The person that's going to be countering that point will say, guys, I'm sorry. They've got 10 wins, and none of those 10 wins are teams that are ranked. Compare that to another 10-win team that gets in versus –
it would definitely come up, but committee members, they're going to pull each other in different ways as far as what the importance is when it comes to that. And Nick Saban, he mentioned recently where when there was a 14 playoff, he had a couple of teams that were disappointed. Now that it's opened up more with 12 teams, it just means you're going to have more teams that are disappointed and feel like they have a case to be in.
Yeah, there might be a 9-3 team that's disappointed, but 3 losses on your schedule, no matter how tough your schedule is, you're going to be able to say we had that opportunity and we came up short 3 times. 10-2, it's going to be tough to leave out a 10-2 team unless there are a bunch of 10-2 teams right there at 10, 11, 12, 13. Somebody's going to have to be left out, and that's when they're going to have to get a little nitpicky and start looking at the schedule, strength of schedule, the opponents, and then the eye test.
They're already that. They already look into how many points, even though I don't think it's part of the criteria, they already look into how teams performed against certain opponents, how many points they scored. They look into those things.
Missouri is ranked 24 this week. South Carolina is ranked 23. Missouri at South Carolina, line on Bet Saracen is?
South Carolina 4.
12.5.
12.5.
That's what I said, Joe. It's like, wow. There's your respect.
Part of that is their quarterback situation for Missouri.
Brady Cook, yep.
So if their starting quarterback is available, changes that a lot.
If you see that line go down suddenly, then you know the word is starting to filter out that Brady Cook's going to play. But I think that line is set for the what's his name, Tyne?
Drew Pine.
Drew Pine to be the starter. All right, let's go to the NBA. Cavs keep rolling.
Phillips, or rather Terry was trying to box out Mobley and got the board. Mitchell spins. Finish by Donovan Mitchell.
Donovan Mitchell had a game last night, and Cavs begin NBA season 12-0. So I think they said that this put them in a list of about 8 teams that have started at least 12-0, and in recent time and how they ended up performing, I think there were 5 of them. 5 of them went to the finals, and 2 of them went on to win.
So before the season started and everyone was talking about the East, it was Celtics, Sixers, Knicks, Bucks. Were Cavs right there, 5, 6, 7?
They weren't even mentioned. They weren't in the conversation.
Wow. What turnaround. New head coach, Golden State Warriors former assistant.
Kenny Atkinson. And he's a former head coach himself.
I didn't realize that. Well, they're off to a great start, and they're fun to watch. I even watched a little bit of them the other night because of the undefeated, mark. I'm like, let me check this out. It's like, oh, all right, I enjoy watching this team.
They play Warriors soon, so that'll be a fun game.
When we come back, Jeff Puritan's going to join us. He's the athletic director of the Arkansas State Red Wolves. We've got Little Rock Trojans and the Red Wolves tonight up in Jonesboro. Talk a little hoops with him, talk a little football. His team looking to bounce back after a difficult loss at Louisiana over the weekend. Now they go to Georgia State and try to become bowl eligible. We'll hear from Jeff Puritan next. Stick around. This is Out of Bounds.
This is Trey Reed from the Wild Side, inviting you to join Mark Hedrick and me every Tuesday night at 7 here on The Buzz.
Brought to you by Trader Bill's Outdoors, West Rock Landing, Edwards Food Giant, Battery Outfitters, All About Tire and Brake, and Tammy Chase Insurance.
It's The Wild Side on 103.7 The Buzz.
This is Sports Center.
The Arkansas basketball program landed the #1 shooting guard in the country last night in overtime elite product Malik Thomas. The Pittsburgh native chose Arkansas over UConn and hometown Pittsburgh. He is the second 5-star recruit of the 2025 class so far, joining Darius Acuff Jr., who is the #1 point guard in the class and a top 10 player overall. Going off the 24/7 composite score, Thomas is the third highest recruit of the ratings era in Razorback basketball history, behind Nick Smith Jr. and Al Jefferson, who went straight to the NBA. In other Arkansas basketball news, the Razorbacks fell to 18th in the country following the loss to Baylor on Saturday. And in college basketball tonight, Arkansas State will host Little Rock at 7. It can be watched on ESPN+. Radio coverage will be on 106.7 Buzz too. I'm Christian Weaver with the Buzz Radio Network.
Abe Lincoln, Duck Dynasty, and Chuck Norris. Do you have what it takes to join these bearded greats? Join the Arkansas Urology Foundation for the 4th annual Beard Bracket Challenge, presented by First Horizon Bank, as you put down your razors and put your facial hair to the test. No Shave November helps bring awareness to men's health issues, from prostate cancer to sleep conditions, mental health, and everything in between. Guys, put down your razors and submit your bearded photos to arkansasurology.com between now and December 6th for your chance to win a 70-inch flat-screen TV in the 4th annual Beard Bracket Challenge, presented by First Horizon Bank and the Arkansas Urology Foundation.
Oh, I wish I could have been there when the truck pulled into Genesis of Conway with all those incredible automobiles, those GV80s from Genesis, and watched them come off that truck, knowing that Genesis of Conway can get you into one of those incredible automobiles at 2.9% interest for 60 months right now. Oh, I'd love to see your face when you first take that test drive. It's incredible. Genesis of Conway, the future of luxury today.
Welcome to Staples.
Help! My family's in for the holidays and I need gift ideas.
That's why we're here. Staples has amazing deals on everything you need. Photo gifts, laptops, and gaming systems. Even custom holiday cards and shipping solutions to send gifts to the family that can't make it.
Perfect! Have anything for Uncle Frank? I love him, but the guy is never quiet.
Noise-canceling headphones. For you.
You get it.
Unwrap huge holiday savings at Staples. And right now at Staples, save up to $350 on select computers. Ends 11/16, in-store only.
Oh no, my phone.
Hear that? It's the sound of a skater dropping her phone and smashing it on the ice. Yep, it's definitely broken. But at Verizon, we got you. This holiday, trade in any phone, any condition from one of our top brands and get a new Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus on Unlimited Ultimate and Watch 7 and Tab S9 FE 5G. That's over $1,800 in value. So you'll save big on 3 great gifts. Only at Verizon. Service plan required for watch and tablet. Over $1,800 value based on phone, watch, and tablet. Trade in and additional terms apply. See Verizon.com for details.
The holiday season is here, and this is the start of something fun. It's a season centered on when to shop, when to wrap, when to open presents. But at Academy Sports and Outdoors, it's all about where, because the best holiday fun happens out there, on the driveway with a new basketball hoop, out back around the fire pit, or up in the deer stand. Because however you shop, no matter your fun, we've got it. The right stuff at the right price, in-store and online at academy.com. Academy, have fun out there.
Injured? There's only one number you need to know. 888-8888.
At Rainwater Holton Sexton, no case is too big and no insurance company too strong.
Just dial 888-8888.
Responsible attorneys Michael Rainwater and Bob Sexton.
Arkansas wide receiver Isaiah Satania joins Randy and Rick on Drive Time Sports each week this football season, presented by Johnston's Home Center. If they don't have it at Johnston's, you probably don't need it. That's Isaiah Satania on Drive Time Sports and 103.7 The Buzz.
Out of Bounds on 103.7 The Buzz. Live from the Gwatney Chevrolet studio. Gwatney Chevrolet. Driving, trust every mile.
Welcome back to Out of Bounds. Wes Moore, Joe Franklin. Got a good basketball game tonight. Little Rock Trojans headed up to Jonesboro to take on Arkansas State. Red Wolves Athletic Director Jeff Purinton joins us on Out of Bounds. Jeff, how are you?
Doing great. How about you guys?
Man, excited. This is going to be fun tonight. You know, we got a little treat last night. We had the Arkansas women come to Little Rock to play the Lady Trojans, a little in-state rivalry game, and now we get to do it again tonight. So it should be a good environment.
Yeah, looking forward to it. We had a tremendous crowd for our home opener, 4,600 plus, and most we've had, First National Bank Arena in 22 years, I believe, in terms of an opener. So the crowd was outstanding. The students were great. We're giving away some Howl towels to the first 2,000 fans tonight, and recognizing our volleyball team that just won the Sun Belt West. So a lot of good things going, and I agree. I like these regional rivalry games, especially when they're in-state. Brings a little extra juice to it.
How about that with Little Rock and A-State, one-time conference rivals, and continue that game and see each other? That's good for them to continue to play.
Exactly. And we were down there last year. I went down to Little Rock for the game, and our point guards were banged up, and Little Rock played really well and handed us the loss. So we got to see if we can kind of return the favor tonight.
Is that something you would like to see this series continue on and on and on?
Yeah, I would. I think Coach Hodgson would feel the same way. I think it's good for basketball. It's good for our state. And I think with all of our sports, the more games like this we can play, I think it garners more interest. I think you're going to have better crowds. And I think it means more to the student athletes. And
you said that there's a giveaway for a number of fans that coming through the door?
Yeah, we have some Howl towels, first 2,000 that people can wave, rally towels. Howl, we're calling them because of our mascot, obviously. But trying to do a few more of those things to get the crowd in there and get them going.
Jeff Purinton with us on Out of Bounds. Hey, Jeff, did you make the trip down to Tuscaloosa Friday night?
Yeah, I actually went down to Tuscaloosa, and good to see some old friends and coaches, and talked to Coach Oates for quite a while after the game. Really proud of the way we played. We were down I think 16 at one point, and fought back to tie it up in the second half there late. Just didn't knock down enough free throws or threes, or else we might have had a chance to pull off the upset. But the guys played really hard, and Coach Hodgson, he's not a moral victory guy, but he said it shows, the potential of this team if we give effort and get a few shots to fall.
What have you seen from the team so far this season? And it's early in the season.
Yeah, I think they play together really well. I think they're a true team. These guys really enjoy being around one another. And sometimes that's hard, especially with basketball, when you have, roster changes and, you have your returnees, but then you have some brand new guys. But Kobe Julian's been a huge addition for us. Obviously, he's our leading scorer at 17 a game. Joseph Pinion transfer from Arkansas played really well in our opener against Akron, and they're a really good team. They went to the tournament last year, pulled that one out in OT. But Joe played great, and I think mixing those guys with, the veterans we have coming back, Darian Ford, Terrence Ford being healthy. Hopefully we get Isaiah Nelson back here in the next game or two, and really see what the true potential of this team will be.
Jeff Purinton, the athletic director for Arkansas State, with us on Out of Bounds. And Coach, I got the email today. The Sun Belt Women's Player of the Week comes from Arkansas State, and they got a good win. Went out on the road, beat Arizona State, and so you got to be happy with what's going on up there now.
Yeah, we have a lot of good things going on. Huge win at Arizona State for the women. And then, like I mentioned, volleyball clinching the West. They have one more regular season match to finish up, and then they go to the tournament. Hopefully have a good showing there. Football, we needed another win here down the stretch to get bowl eligible again. So, yeah, a lot of good things going. Hopefully we can keep it rolling.
What is this time of the year like for you when once basketball season starts and you have so many sports going on?
Yeah, this is really the craziest time of the year when football's coming down the home stretch. Both basketballs and then your other fall, winter sports still rolling along. So I try to get to as many as possible. We have the men's game tonight, and then tomorrow night the women are home, and then we're on the road with football at Georgia State Saturday. So not a lot of nights at the house, but hopefully I can get the family over here and get them to the game, and I can interact with them there.
What's it look like for the Sun Belt as far as bowl tie-ins? Is 6 good enough for Arkansas State? Do you feel like you need to get maybe a 7th win and, let's take it out of their hands, go ahead and win out and get that 8th win and be sure that you're going?
There you go. Yeah, obviously, just like everything, the more wins you can stack up, maybe the more high-profile bowl game you'll go to. I know, we have our tie-ins with the Sun Belt, and then, like last year, we had 12 teams make bowl games. So our commissioner did a good job of finding some spots for all of our teams. So we'll look at where other conferences maybe are not filling their full allotment and hopefully get some of those spots. But, yeah, I'm with you. Let's do it. Let's get to 7 or 8.
Hey, Jeff, your phone started breaking up really bad. Do you mind calling us right back?
Sure.
All right, thank you. It's Jeff Purinton with us on Out of Bounds, athletic director at Arkansas State. Got a bad connection there. It made it kind of difficult. Do want to ask him about scheduling as a athletic director and the challenges that he has. And now with some of these conferences, and it popped up again yesterday about Arkansas and the SEC going to a 9-game conference schedule. That'd be one less non-conference game. Is it, getting tougher and tougher to schedule some of these non-conference games, some of these bye games? And it's important for Arkansas State and some of these teams at the mid-majors to get a $2 million payout to go to some of these games to play a non-conference game. Let's see if we got him back now. Jeff, you there now?
I'm here.
Oh, my gosh, so much better. It's night and day.
Yeah, I didn't know if you were getting that on your end either. I was hoping not. I was trying to use my cell phone because my office faces the football field and the team's about to start practice, so the music's blaring, so you may hear a little bit of that in the background.
Oh, we love it. That's awesome. Give us a little bit of that noise. Hey, and I wanted to ask you about the football and the challenges these days. Is it becoming tougher and tougher for an athletic director to schedule future non-conference games in football with some of these power conferences going to more conference games and not knowing exactly what the future schedules are going to look like? How has it been for you?
Yeah, scheduling has become more challenging. For a number of reasons, like you mentioned, a lot of conferences are going to nine games in terms of within the conference, and then a little bit with the uncertainty of kind of where everything's heading in college athletics. A few people I've talked to are in a little bit of a holding pattern. And then I think the other part is, the Sun Belt's had some pretty big upsets against some Power 4 schools in recent history. So there might be a little bit more of a reluctancy to play those games.
And you guys at A-State have put a lot into facilities and trying to bring fans in there. What kind of in-game deals do you have as far as to attract some fans?
Yeah, so we've really looked at the whole thing, from when people drive in and park, to tailgate city, and how do we increase those numbers, and then, having Red Wolf Walk, our players, come through that area as they enter the stadium. We changed that up the first year I was here, and that's really grown. And then just the different promotional giveaways, the in-game activations. We've added a student party deck to try to get them in the stadium. They'll come to the games a lot of times, but they have their little tailgate area out in the Pines. So hopefully get them in from the Pines. And our marketing and communication staff have done a really good job in terms of messaging and getting our student athletes out to the union and interacting with their fellow students. So our attendance was up, for the first few games, just under 20%. So that was one of the better numbers in the country. So making some progress, and obviously you got to win some games and put a good product on the field.
Do you see, have you seen it yet? Could there be, because these big payouts you get for these non-conference games, those are huge for the administration, for your athletic department. Because of the uncertainty in the future, could those big payouts start to go down a little bit? Has that trend started?
Yeah, to a degree. That's correct. I do think there's still going to be a need and a place for those games. But you're right. Obviously, if there's more conference games, there's not as much of a demand, and just like anything else, when there's not as much demand, the price drops. So a lot of times you're leaning on relationships with other ADs, maybe other coaches that know fellow coaches to get some of those deals done. But that's become a little bit of a challenge, and that's part of our equation in terms of the budget. Is our philosophy is we're going to play one of those kind of big road games. And then mix in a couple home and homes, and then an FCS game for us here at Centennial Bank Stadium.
Yeah, y'all had a tough one in football this year. 2 tough ones this year. That may not be the ideal schedule, is it?
No, maybe not 2. But the Iowa State game, and then having them back to back was tough as well. But Iowa State actually comes here next year,
awesome.
So that should be a great game for our fans, and having a Big 12 opponent come to Jonesboro. So at least there's some light on the other side of that one, where we'll get Iowa State at home, and then we have the Arkansas game in Little Rock. So looking forward to it.
Yeah, the future schedule looks awesome for your fans, as far as the ease of having a great opponent there in Jonesboro, and then the ease of getting to Little Rock. What kind of crowd do you expect in Little Rock from the Red Wolves?
Oh, we've had a ton of demand. Everybody's making sure they have their place on the priority list. I think we'll sell out our allotment, and maybe even a little more, but people are fired up. And I think it was so far, they're scheduled so far in advance, you never know what can happen. I think now, the reality is set in that, yep, we're playing this game, and I think we'll have a great turnout in Little Rock.
What was your allotment?
It's right around 10,000.
That's awesome that you've got that sold out. I don't have it in front of me, and I don't remember. Is this just was it a one-time deal, or are there talks for future games?
Yeah, this is just one game, and hopefully we can look at doing something in the future as well. So I'll have to give Hunter a call and see what we have going.
Maybe we do a two-way and have you on one line and him on the other, and try to hammer out the deal right now, right here.
Yeah. I think the SEC is sort of, like I said earlier, they're waiting to see how everything shakes out. So maybe when it does, we can get something lined up.
Jeff, we appreciate your time today. I know how busy you are, and it's going to be a busy night, but a fun night. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, no question. Thank y'all. Wolves up.
Jeff Puritan with us, athletic director of Arkansas State. Hey, we're live at 5:30 and 6:30 on Fox 16, preview of Little Rock and A-State men, and then we'll have the highlights for you tonight at 9. When we come back, we'll wrap this thing up. We'll get ready for Drive Time Sports. Stick around. This is Out of Bounds.
This month at Gwatney Chevrolet, you could be eligible to make no payments for 90 days. That's right, qualified buyers don't pay on new purchases at Gwatney Chevrolet until 2025. If you're in the market for a new Chevy car, truck, or SUV, now is the perfect time to buy. It could be yours with no payments until next year. Want to find out if you qualify? Give Gwatney Chevrolet a call at 501-982-2102 or come see us at 1301 TP White Drive in Jacksonville. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
Hurry up, dude. The game's about to start.
Nothing beats spending the day watching the game with your buddies.
Dude, I'm literally right here. Let's do this.
Which is why a shelter insurance renter's policy is key to your winning game plan. It protects things your landlord's policy doesn't.
Dude, where's your TV?
What? Oh, no way, dude.
Like that flat screen TV that just got stolen.
See shelter agent Vic Seidenschwartz in Carlisle, Lawrence Forrester in Cabot, or Hayden Strickland in Sherwood.
With tens of thousands of satisfied patients across America, it's no surprise QC Kinetics gets 5-star reviews.
I'm feeling on top of the world because of QC Kinetics.
I'm able to do the things that I wasn't able to do for a long time.
I can recommend them highly.
I would recommend QC to anybody.
QC Kinetics has changed my life.
I couldn't believe it. I honestly was skeptical, but the pain went from a 10 to a 0.
Real people with real lasting relief from joint pain.
QC Kinetics Regenerative Medicine is regenerating me.
I'm super successful, and I recommend everyone seek out QC Kinetics as an alternative to surgery.
This non-surgical approach is definitely the future.
I tell as many people as possible. I am an ambassador. I love QC Kinetics.
QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in advanced regenerative medicine. No drugs, no surgery. Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 501-222-8440. That's 501-222-8440. 501-222-8440.
It's Justin Acree for Coffin by Design West. Shop with the local folks and get exactly what you want. You can also shop from the convenience of your own home by going to kaufmanlumber.com. There's an online store with over 800,000 items in inventory that can be delivered straight to your front door. Items in inventory include everything from hardware to housewares, heating and cooling supplies, lawn and garden tools, sporting goods, store and office supplies, and there's a huge range of products in each area available. So go by their store in West Little Rock at 14900 Cantrell Road, or do your shopping online at kaufmanlumber.com.
O'Reilly. Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free and provides a report with solutions based on over 650 million vehicle scans verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we can recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Meet Cheryl.
Hey.
She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's gotta be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
What's up, fellas? Clint Sterner here. Look, if you're only middle-aged but wondering why it seems harder to keep up, you're not alone. It may be caused by low testosterone. Testosterone therapy, or TRT, can help you get back to living your best life, but not just any TRT. Not those websites offering only basic treatments and at prices that sound too good to be true. See the provider specialist at Low T Center. They offer advanced personalized treatments with over a decade of experience. At Low T Center, you'll start with a simple test and get your results back in about 25 minutes. So go to lowtcenter.com to book your appointment online. That's lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Out of Bounds, live from the Gwatney Chevrolet studio.
Little college basketball tonight. Kentucky and Duke. 8 o'clock start. It's on ESPN. We'll try to maybe set an alarm, remind myself, watch this game.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Duke's favored by 5.5, by the way. Where are they playing this? Is it at Duke?
No, these are neutral site.
Neutral?
Games.
I was about to say, that seems like low line, 5.5, if it was at Duke, but with it being neutral site, that makes a little bit more sense. Coach K, what was he on? What was he talking on, Joe?
Not really sure.
Well,
let's see. Let's play it, and we'll have an answer for that.
There's no one who leads college basketball. You know,
I think the most important thing about playing quarters is the fouls reset. And, I mean, he's a brilliant coach. I mean, he brought up so many amazing points. That is one of the best points because you know how a game starts, a whistle with something, and then you're living with that for 18 minutes instead of every 10 minutes. And then there's no one-on-ones. There's no one-on-ones. Our listeners should understand that. In the world out there, no one shoots a one-on-one except men's college basketball. All right?
Right.
And, yeah, I don't think we'll miss it.
No, we will not.
I don't think we'll miss it. And so, anyway, we can catch up like that real quick if we just put our arms around this. This is not like we have to build a new building or something. We just have to get up to date and then figure out what's best for our game. But you need leadership and a governing structure that will be agile, adaptable, and stay current and have the vision to be creative in promoting your product and the vision of how our sport will look a year from now, 5 years from now. Have a 5-year plan and all that. Run it like a damn business, man. That's what football's doing, and our sport can be. What elevates a sport? How much money they make. That's what's elevated football. They make a lot of money, and let's figure out how college basketball can be run like a business.
Coach K was on College Sports Radio, and the next question for him should have been, would you be willing to run it? Because he has the ideas, and he has the background and the know of college basketball and what it takes to operate it as a business. So would he be willing to run it? And part of the reason in recent years, the way it's changed, I think, he didn't want to deal with some of the changes that are going on because he was a little resistant to one and dones, and he did eventually evolve to that where he was taking on some of those one and dones. But what's happened here recently, him being the age that he is, he just wanted to step away and have a clear mind. So would he be willing to run it?
I'm all for the 4 quarters. I like the exhibition games Arkansas did using the quarters. I'm all for shooting less free throws. Just like Coach K said, sometimes you get one of those games, happy whistle, and next thing you know, we're at the 12-minute mark, and one team's already got 7 fouls, and they're in the bonus, and we're shooting free throws for the next 12 minutes. I hate those kind of games. So to reset after 10 minutes, I think that's brilliant. Sign me up. I'll take it right now.
It's the only form of basketball where they play halves.
Yeah.
Any level you go to in basketball, it's 4 quarters.
Yeah, it is. It's kind of head-scratching. You're like, why is that? Why has college resisted that change?
And it's just been men's college basketball.
Yeah, the women did it.
Women play 4 quarters.
And women's doing just fine, right? The game didn't fall apart.
They're doing great.
Going to quarters. Over on the True Service Community Federal Credit Union Live fan feedback, tell Coach Pittman that having a new hip is a piece of cake. I got over mine in about 2.5, 3 weeks with very little pain. I feel better than I ever have. That's from Fern. All right, Fern, I'll tell him, but I think he's already been told. Kip in Little Rock. Kit says, I personally know what Coach Pittman is dealing with. Kudos to him for wanting to be there with his team and hanging in there on the sidelines. Not surprised by that. For me, the 3rd to 6th day after surgery was the worst. Things got better on a daily basis after that. Right now, barometric pressure and cold temperatures are not his friend. Yeah, Kit, I think there are a lot of things that are his friend. When it's bone on bone, there's not much comfort anywhere. From the 501, Wes, Joe, with a 12-team playoff, it's time to go back to the BCS model. You know, it's funny. I talked about this last Wednesday. Someone tweeted out the BCS computer ranking for last week and compared it to the actual playoff committee rankings, and there were only 2 differences, and they were very minor. Like one of them was Tennessee, Indiana, had them flip-flop from the other at 7-8, I believe, and the other one, kind of a big difference, but it was SMU and Boise State, I think, were flip-flopped at 12 and 13. Now you don't have to worry about SMU. SMU is leading the ACC, and they will be one of the top 4 teams in the playoff bracket when it's released later tonight.
Yeah, but still got games left and
assuming
championship.
They win the championship. Maybe totally something different by then. JW sent us a picture. Had a great day. Harvested looked like a 10-point buck around 136 today out of Stone County. It's a nice-looking deer. Good job, JW. I guess that was when 136. We were talking with Coach Gillerin right about that time. So hopefully you were listening and got that buck. Now I'll pass along some beef jerky for us. Love me some deer jerky. Oh, my gosh. My dad used to do some good deer jerky. Just be set up for months. Anything else I got to get to? Nope. That is it. All right. Besides Kentucky and Duke tonight, anything big you got your eye on?
I'm watching Aaron Hernandez. This is the series finale of that series that basically showed him from a young child until the end. And this is the last episode that comes on tonight on FX.
Okay. So this is like dealing with his death now?
Yes. Yeah. He was just arrested in the last episode, and now it's going to show what happens after that.
You recommend it?
Yes. Yeah.
Highly recommend
Highly
it?
recommend
Must watch?
I mean, for me, yes.
Congratulations to Jackson Woodard. You know, remember we had Jackson Woodard in the studio earlier this year. Plays for UNLV, a captain for Coach Odom. He has been named a semifinalist for the Burlsworth Trophy.
Nice.
Yeah, Coach Odom tweeted out that news a little earlier today. So that's cool. Jackson was a great guy. He came in here, was talking about a camp they were putting on, a football camp for free. They weren't there trying to make money. They were just trying to give back to the sport, and just very impressed with Jackson Woodard. And I was impressed with him in the Liberty Bowl when he got to play due to guys leaving the team and injuries, and played really well. And I thought, man, this guy's got a chance to play for Arkansas. And then, of course, Odom leaves. Sherrod, the linebacker coach, leaves, and he followed him out there. And he's having a very, good season last year and another good season this year.
UNLV, as a team, they're having a good season.
Real quick, let me tell you about our friends at Gwatney Chevrolet. The month of November always brings Black Friday sales. You do not have to wait until Black Friday to get a great deal at Gwatney Chevrolet. Those deals are already happening now, like 0% financing on Silverados. If you've been thinking about a new truck, check out the Silverado. Great truck, 0% financing. And they're carrying over no payments for 90 days. That means no payment November, December, January. You won't make a payment on a new vehicle until February of next year. And they've got tons of previously owned vehicles, and they've got a great deal right now. They're paying over $2,500 over Blue Book value. See what they'll give you for your vehicle. Car, truck, SUV. Deals are happening at Gwatney Chevrolet. Check out the website, GwatneyChevrolet.com. You can see all the inventory. You can see all the rebates, the incentives, all the deals I've been telling you about. And then go to the James Street exit in Jacksonville and see our friends at Gwatney Chevrolet. Coming up tomorrow, we'll preview Arkansas-Troy. Got Pat Bradley with us. Talk a little high school football, more playoff talk. Got some good games coming up Friday night for Fearless Friday. I'm going to finish up the schedule and figure out where all we are going. Top teams all have a bye, but still some really good games. 2A, 3A, 4A. I'm excited for this Friday night. All right, we got to get out of here. It's going to be a good night. We'll be back at it tomorrow, but stick around. Drive Time Sports is next.
Be game day ready with